Helps you press the right bloody button, doesn't it? You can tell it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, good morning, people. Hope everyone had a good night. Wonder how everyone's doing. Yes, random show as ever, I know. Do you know what? That was an awful night's sleep. For some reason, I go through these bloody stages where sleep like a brick. Don't even move in the bed. Total soundo. Good night. God bless. And then I don't know. I just have these other nights where I just cannot sleep. Very annoying. Maybe it's just part of the stress of life. Maybe it's just part of the stress of life of being a Spurs supporter. You know, I mean, there's along with having marriage life and along with having a daughter and everything else. I mean, stress can pile up, but fuck me. When it comes down to it, I think marriage, kids, everything, I think they're a piece of piss when it comes to, if you want to compare it to supporting Spurs. But then here we go. And what have we got coming up next? We have got a Liverpool game coming up next. Yes, great. How many people are actually looking forward to that? If I'm going to be totally honest, how many people are actually looking forward to any games that we've got coming up? It just isn't looking bright at the moment, is it? I know we can always say there's hope at the like. Do you know what? I'm even struggling to see light at the end of the tunnel at the minute. But I know it is not as bad as it possibly looks. We are only coming on 5 months into the season, and we do just have to be patient here, and we do just have to wait. I don't think Thomas Frankie's going nowhere. I mean, it's the big thing everyone keeps talking about. Yes, I know he's not doing too great compared to what we was doing last season. I know some people don't like compare it. Yeah, bollocks, mate. I don't care. I compare to what I want here, because if I can't compare, then how can I say we are doing better or worse? And yes, that is aimed at a few people out there, not just one. So I will compare. I'm not seeing us looking no better than what we did under Ange. But it is going to take a bit of time to get this working. If we can even get this working is more the question. It's not a 5-minute job. So I do think a few of us, me included, on the long-term view, till the end of the season, are just going to have to cut a bit of slack off Mr. Frank. And just go with the flow, basically. Yep, game by game, we're praising, we're grilling, same as the players. Praise them, grill them, tell them about themselves. If they do it for the fans there, if they have a great game, please do clap them off. If they just don't turn up, like they do have a bloody habit of doing these days, and can't be bothered, and the manager looks like he hasn't got a clue what he's doing, which at times he has done, and other times he does look like he's got a clue what he's doing, then boo them off the pitch, tell them about themselves. Maybe some people just need to realise that this is their job and it is part of it. Deal with it. Get on with it. But we're just going to have to ride this season out, aren't we? We're just going to have to take it as it comes. And just reading a couple of things this morning, I do have an idea that maybe there might be a couple of things happening in this transfer window coming up. I mean, I had more the idea of like, I reckon we'll see a player and maybe a loan sort of thing, or two, which I'll be more than happy with. Do you know what? Even if we go out and get 3 loans, as long as they improve that first team and get us a little bit of stability in that team until the end of the season, I'm happy as a pig in shit. Yes, I know you can't put lipstick on a pig at the end of the day, and loans won't do that. But it can make us better for the season and actually get us into the season as such. I know there's a lot of people who would rather just say, right, like the questions I was asking Savvy yesterday, they weren't my opinions, but they were just questions. When you see you got a problem sometimes and you spot that problem early, that's when you can sort that problem out. So do you just cut your losses and go again and this and that? How many times have we done this at this club? It is getting to the point where it's just like, again, here we go. It's basically like a New Year's thing, isn't it? It just comes on such a regular basis. And yeah. So yeah, I do think we're going to have to cut this man a little bit of slack. and wait till the end of the season before we could give him a fair judgment. I know there's people that ain't going to change their minds on him. People ain't going to give him a bit of slack. And I can actually understand why. Because like I said, I am not seeing no improvements. And after 20 odd games he's had with us, I would expect some improvement on this team that finished 17th. I think the other thing that is really chewing me on this one is, how do I put this, since it is only 9 o'clock in the morning, or well, 9:06 anyway. How do I actually put this? I just find it amusing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Last season, Ange's football was fucking shocking. No ifs, no buts about it. It will not work in the Premier League. It proved again with Forest. It won't do it. But it was not the players in any means or manner. This year, it just seems to be people saying it's nothing to do with Frank's fault. It's the shit team he's inherited, and it's all the crap, and it's all them and everything else. Yes, when they go on the pitch and they put on performances like they did with Fulham, like they did with Arsenal, like they did with Chelsea, like we went out there and got totally pants down and destroyed in every which way to the point that we walked off that pitch looking like John Wayne. Yeah, you're going to start asking questions. People will ask questions, and people are entitled to ask questions. People are entitled to opinions. That is one thing we are all entitled to. Whether you like someone's opinion or not, I couldn't really care less. It is an opinion, and you're entitled to it. But one problem people do have, though, that I do find in a lot of places, not just YouTube, is they think their opinions are facts. And then that's where things get turned into an amusing conversation. But I'm going to say hello to a few people on here. And dare I say these words, I am not intending on doing a long show. Got a few things to do this morning. And this afternoon, I do have to go to the dentist. And I do have to go to the dentist. And just thank God my dentist does not watch YouTube. Because after that show the other day and saying, yeah, stuff the dentist, I'll just make another appointment. If she actually found that out, she's been my dentist for about 20 years. She's really good. She'd be pretty pissed off. And then she's the one going on my teeth. And I don't think I'd want to piss someone off who's going to be piss balling about my teeth. But anyway, people, I'm going to say hello to a few people and then just go through a few things that I've been reading. And there's more things coming up on the screen, literally, as I see it. This window might be interesting. Might be interesting. We can all hear and hope. And I just want to say big thanks quickly to Prince Axel. I ain't even going to say your second name, mate, so I'll just call you Prince. Much appreciated, mate. Cat fun. Yeah, good one. I like that one. Yeah, I remember I've seen that before. Nice one. Yeah. I trust Frank long term more than I trusted Ange. Fair enough. Fair enough. Frank hasn't given me anything yet to trust him long term. But it's only at the end of the season we can really make that fair dig, isn't it? I mean, it's all good saying have him out now and everything else and that now, but we can't really make a fair assessment on him until the end of the season, I don't think. And I honestly, you know what, like others do say, Sava says it best in the aspect of, do you know what, if we get rid of him tomorrow, I don't care, and get a new manager in, it's just the question is, where do we go from there? And it is a solid point he makes here. You can't really argue it. It is a solid point he does make there. I can see the advantages of doing it. I can see the disadvantages of doing it. Do you know what? Stuff it. Let's just ride this bloody season out, which is already done and dusted. I think that is another thing which is pissing a lot of people off. It's like this season has already been, in some ways, it was like it was already written off before we even started it, basically, wasn't it? Another manager's, how should I put it? What's the phrase for it? Another manager's honeymoon period season sort of thing, where he's just got to have the season to find out the team, get rid of the players, get in the new player. It's almost writing off the season before it bloody starts, isn't it? Maybe it's just me seeing it like that. I don't know who else sees it like that, but I'm sure there's plenty out there who do. I'm sure there's probably plenty out there who don't. But it is just frustrating. But welcome to the life of being a Spurs fan. I mean, you know what? It's like when you have a kid, you have a boy, whatever, or you have a girl, whatever, you have a kid, full stop. You want your kid, you get your kid to support your team, you get your kid to support Spurs. I'm starting to think that anyone who gets their kid to support Spurs, they're going to have social services kicking down their door soon, because it's almost it's almost corporal punishment, isn't it? Making your kids support Spurs. Yeah, that's it. Get social services round there. Bad parenting. And yeah, Dave Monk, how we doing, fella? Hope you're good, mate. Know you're on your holiday at the moment. Well, I say on holiday off work. Going to pick up your daughter soon, and hope you have a brilliant weekend with her. And big up Dan E and Hotspur Hood community. Vaseline ready for the weekend's game. Yeah, I at least hope there is some Vaseline now. But this game, Dave, could be an interesting one. I mean, spoke about it briefly with Stel, Alex, Ian last night on that what's it, Spurs 5. And if anyone's there for the taking right now, it is Liverpool. But the thing I'm definitely worried about with this Liverpool game is if anyone's got the capability of getting their shit together and giving you the kick into your life, which they usually do with us. It is Liverpool, isn't it? Yes, I don't think. I mean, please, someone do tell me if they're looking forward to this game. Please do tell me, because I'm not. Same as I'm not looking forward to most games at the moment. But yeah, AS Winner, how you doing, mate? Hope you're having a good morning. Massive game this weekend. Yeah, but then I suppose you can say that every weekend for us at the moment. It's like every game that we're playing at the moment, it's like Frank's gone to that Ange stage of he needs to win that game to buy some time, basically. And that is how it looks like to me, the stage he's already on, which isn't a good stage to be on. But as long as the ball stick by him in that aspect and want to keep him, it's neither here nor there, really, on a lot of it. And yeah, like you're saying, massive game this weekend against Liverpool. Need to improve our poor results. Yes, we bloody do. I mean, at home, we do look horrendous. I mean, we've looked at horrendous. How many games at home have we actually won in the past 30 odd games? Are we even at 6 or 7? Or am I being a bit low here? So, someone tell me, how many games have we actually won at home? Our home record is abysmal in every which way. And there's my wife, Beth. Guess I'll have to be seeing this as I'm rudely awake early. Yeah, well, you actually had some sleep last night. I bloody didn't. Again, and second morning money. Yeah, that was a bit of a messed up one this last morning. But yeah. And Russell, let's go. Maz Incorporal. Just, mate, just don't even go there. Just don't. I suppose that people don't worry. If you saw the show, you will totally understand. If you didn't, you won't know. Just yeah. But I totally get where you're coming from, mate. And Ozzy as well. Evening, buddy. Evening, mate. Hope you're all good as well. And we love random shows. Who cares, mate? If I was to go by a routine on this, I'd probably be going mental, being locked up in a mental home with this fella here. That is what you end up as a Spurs supporter. If I was to come on and do these shows, I mean, half the time, medical issues, I just can't keep up with people the way they do the shows and that, yeah. But if I was to come on here and do the shows as regular, as consistent as other people, that is what I would end up like. I'm surprised most of us already bloody ain't. Tottenham does seem to have that effect on you. And Prince always saying, big up Dan in chat, big up to you, mate. And Ozzy, hope you're doing fine, mate. Hope you're okay, Dan. I'm all cool, mate. Just lack of sleep, pissed off. Cup of coffee. So what do? You go and talk about Spurs. That'll brighten your day up. Yeah, sure it will as well. And also saying Liverpool, fuck yeah. It gets better and better. Russell also, I am scared. I'm not as scared as I would usually be with this one. I mean, yes, it's Liverpool. They're probably going to kick our ass anyway, like I said, they always do. But if they are ever there for the taking, it is now. I mean, do you know what? I think I would rather, for the first time in my entire life, see a Liverpool game coming up and saying, do you know what? I would rather be playing Liverpool at Anfield. And that might just sound like the most psychotic thing that anyone has ever said. But we play better away from home. And they're just looking pretty poor in general overall, up and down, up and down. Past couple of games, they seem to have got their shit together, but this has got to be the first time ever I would have rather played the game at Anfield. Again, maybe that sounds a bit strange, but I think some people can relate to that. It's just one of them things like, do you even want to watch that game? Like, stuff it. You're just going to have to watch the game for the sake of it. And if it just goes that wrong, just turn the bloody telly off and, I don't know, go put on Game of Thrones or something. Or just, yeah. Or if you want to laugh, just go put on South Park. Just, it is just at that point where you're just like, do I even have to watch this bloody thing? And that's where I'm talking about there is no improvement from last season. The football, as far as I'm concerned, is just as abysmal in different ways. The results are just as abysmal in the same ways. And it's just, it is not easy to deal with this at the moment. And Prince always saying, I don't know if I can watch the game. Yeah, mate, I'm with you on that one, but I will watch the game. And I'll make sure I've got a beer next to me as well. And Ridge THFC, how you doing, mate, this morning? Oval's good for you. And between the performances of last year and the piss poor start to the season, I've checked out Spurs. It's hard to be invested when the club is run by clowns. Well, yes, it is. But this is where a lot of people can say, Levy is out the window now, and it's going to be the first transfer window without Levy. Do you know what I say that? The thing I find out, the thing that out of all that happened, that I really do struggle to get through my head, like, why didn't they just fuck him off before the start? Seriously. Before the start of the window and everything, why didn't they just say, right, Levy, you're done. Baked potato, mate. See you later. Do one. Go forth and multiply. Why did they leave it to the end of the transfer window? I mean, for that one, I just find it a bit, why? But maybe there was something to it. I don't know. But I do find that one a bit of a strange one. Why leave it to the end of the transfer? Just fuck him off. Go. You're done. But this is going to be our first window without him. We're employing a lot of new people now, left, right, and centre. I mean, I ain't even going to attempt to go through the names because the amount of different people employed. But again, people are going to have to correct me if I'm wrong here. But for me, it seems like we are starting to employ people for every little job in the place. Yeah. I don't necessarily think that's the right way to go about things. I think you get a certain crew together, they do their job, they work together. I think the more people you have working, doing different little jobs in a place, causes more problems. More people always causes more problems. Why? Because people are problems. People create problems. It's what we do. It's what humans are fucking good at. Creating problems. Maybe it might work the other way around. And it might be there's enough people working in there to do their own thing, quality at what they're doing, get their stuff together and work. But do we need as many people as we're starting to get in there? Because I'm seeing we're getting this fella from City, most probably. And then there's rumours of a couple of other people coming in to do a couple of other jobs. Well, I tell you one thing they need to do is fuck off that scouting system and get a new lot in there who can actually scout something. I mean, most of them scouts and that, they look like the way they go and pick the players and get some of the players that we've bought, they might as well be boy fucking scouts. I'm just going to have to tone my language down. It's bloody 9:20 in the morning. And I can agree with what you're saying, mate, is you do just want to switch off. But it's just not as easy as that. And Brian Spurs, morning, guys. Morning to you too, mate. Hope you're all good. Matt, how we doing, fella? Yeah, I remember you sent me a message. If you want to jump on and say something, just send me a message, mate, and I'll send you a link and you can have your quick say on this as well if you want, mate. Because I remember you sent me a message last time because you said there was something you wanted to say on here. And Aussie Frank Lover, Opal's good. It will throw out transfer window if we sack him. Let me start again. I'll bite my bloody tongue off. It will throw out the transfer window if we sack him that money. We will have to use to hire a new manager, pay out Frank, and then we'll only have enough money for the kids. And do you know what, mate? It does make sense. It does make sense. So what I want this board to do here, if they can finally get their finger out their ass and get their bloody act together, is if they haven't made a solid decision on whether they're going to stick by Frank through thick and thin, No matter what happens at the end of the season, no matter what goes on, they're going to carry him on this next season. If they haven't made a solid decision on that yet, I would rather they just don't buy for Frank. If Frank says he wants A, B, C, D, well, okay, we'll have a look. Buy for the club. The player I always keep talking about, because he's one player that always catches my eye in Italy, not doing so good this year, Edison. He's one player that I definitely want on there. 1 second. Oh, no, not Lee Studio. That wouldn't be the smartest idea to do, would it? You can definitely tell it's that time in the morning. And there we go. Go on then, mate. Of course you can join. Yeah, there's the place for you. Send it to you. And I think we need to go out and buy club players, because I don't think there's no bloody stability there. Do we know if they're going to stick by Frank, or if they want to stick? That is the thing we don't know. So, right, go out and buy club players. Go get us a solid centre mid that can do a bit of everything. Edison can defend, he can hold a midfield, and then he can also attack. I'm not saying he's a world-class player, but he's a bloody good player. And he's basically world-class compared to anyone we got in the middle. It is a step up. Go get us a solid left winger. I mean, rumours are going about that Savinho is interested in coming to Spurs for at least till the end of the season. Again, would it happen? Ifs, buts, and maybes. I mean, how many games has he actually started for City this year? I know he's played round about, what is it, 9 or 10? He's played in about 9 or 10, something like that, give or take a number. Maybe even a little bit more. But I don't actually know how many he's started. And he has got that World Cup coming up. And that would be one that would be a very good loan to go for. Players like that is what I want to see come into the club. But go and buy players that, if by the end of the season you've decided it is not going to work, that the players we've bought are still going to be more than good enough for the next manager, no matter how we are going to play the game. I think that is the smart way that we need to do this, basically. And just Russell, Dietrich, have you on the set, mate? Much appreciated. Thanks for last show, Dan. Best on any channel in 2025. Much appreciated, mate. Really was. You know what? Those shows are like a night out. Now, when you arrange a night out with your mates, you go out and you can have a banging night. Some of the nights I had out with my mates, I do wish I could go back to my 20s in that aspect. So if I tried doing that now, I would not make it home out the club. I'd probably end up, probably not the word to use. I'll use it a nicer way. I'd have probably ended up RIP sitting on the tube station that never used to open till 7 o'clock in the morning when you got kicked out of the club at bloody 5 o'clock in the morning. You're still laying there on a different planet trying to work out where you are, let alone get on the bloody tube. And yeah, basically. And this whole thing is just frustrating. Right, Dietrich, I'll be really sick, mate. Just want to say, like, a couple more people, what they're saying. And what Russell's saying here, only reason I would say get rid of him is he's lost the players. That is another question as well. I mean, I will ask Dietrich that one. I don't think he's lost the players, but I don't think he necessarily ever had the respect of the players. A manager like that coming in, done well at Brentford and everything and that, and I think he deserves a step up, because I was quite happy to get him, because I think he can adapt. I think he's got a football brain on him. But can he handle it in the bigger club as such? We're no elite club. I know some people like to think we are. Yes, on the business side, we are an elite club. On the football side, we are a big football club that underachieves in a massive, massive way. And can he handle that? Only time will tell on that one. But I don't think he's quite lost the players. But when you're a manager like that, you can't just walk in there like a Mourinho, like a Pep, like a Conte, like an Angelotti, like a Klopp, and I can name a few more as well, and just walk in and say, right, sit the fuck down. Listen. He hasn't quite got that authority about him anyway. I mean, if he come up to me and said that, I'll probably look him up and down, like, who are you talking to? You know? He hasn't got that chip on his shoulder as such to say, I've done this. Sit down, listen. He hasn't got that authority about him as such. But with that, maybe he needs to earn a bit of respect off the players as well, for them to start having a bit of faith in him. And a couple of things that the players have pulled off, and of them, one of them, Spence twice now, just blatantly walking past him in the most arrogant, ignorant way you possibly could. If I'm going to be totally honest, if I would have gone and spoke to them two on the pitch like that and they'd have walked past me like that, again, this is just different ways, different people and that. Do you know what? I'd have gone out there and I'd have slapped him straight in the face. You arrogant prick, don't you dare walk past me like that when I'm trying to talk to you, whether on the pitch or whatever. You couldn't have really been more rude if you tried. Maybe there was reasons to it, whatever else and that, but it definitely doesn't look good on the picture, does it? God. Pardon me. So I'll say hello to a couple more and then I'm with you, Dietrich. And then Aussie Frank Lover saying pig with lipstick is pretty bacon. Got to love a bit of bacon, mate. I mean, all these vegans out there that just say, I don't eat meat and everything. Well, fuck off and don't eat meat then. I'm a carnivore. I need my kebabs. I need my bacon sarnies. And Ghosted, big up Dan, big up to you too, mate. He's also saying big up chat. Binge Guy, Danny, big up to you too. Hope your morning's going well. Russ always saying, I think he started quite solidly, but has fallen away. Yes, you could say that. And Frank peaked too early. Did he even peak? Nothing in that aspect. Also saying, Binge Guy, Frank not street smart. He hasn't got that cutting edge. Is that street smart as in common sense? Or is that just street smart as in some people are just very intelligent in an office, this, and this, but when it comes out walking down the road, that they'd be thick enough to go walking through Brixton with their fucking phone out in their hand like that and then wonder why they haven't got a phone in 3 seconds. Some people just haven't got street sense. I think I get the point. You're trying to get it. Mashing Joe, always good to see you, fella. I mean, what is that picture all about with that haircut? That is actually quite scary. I mean, in this day and age, you should actually get arrested for that one. I thought Frank was better than Moyes. Now I don't think so. They're both bad and scared to attack. And Russell Crowe saying, love you, Moyes. All right, Dietrich, my man, how are we doing in this? I mean, fucking hell, if it's 9 o'clock here, that means it's what? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's got to be at 5 o'clock in the morning for you.
4 a.m., yeah.
What the fuck are you doing out of bed?
Honestly, then I was
no, mate, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Sure.
How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I think the joke went over your head, mate. Don't worry. Is that
oh no, I get it.
Bit slow this morning, aren't we? Bit slow.
Yeah, I'm slow.
Anyway, how you doing, mate? Why
no,
are
I'm
you
good.
bloody early anyway? Seriously.
No, honestly, do you know when you're like when you fall asleep like pretty early and then you just wake up and you cannot go to bed?
Oh right. Well, at least you went to bloody sleep.
I went to sleep, so I saw the notification that you went live, so I'm like, do you know what? Let me watch it. And of course, with your shows, you're gonna have a good time, so whatever.
Mate, the way I just try and do my shows is come on here and just be your fucking self. There's no image to portray in that. Just say what you got to say, and it's no love. It's not going to be no love lost to me. So with Liverpool, no, do you know what? Let's just go to a different side here. Yeah, I'm starting to read everywhere now. Yeah, that Inter Milan are interested in Vicario. Am I happy with that? No, because Inter Milan is my second team. But do I think he'll be a better goalkeeper in Italy? For sure. I think the Italian style suits it a bit better. And when you've got a defence like Inter Milan in front of you, you definitely got a better chance than you got a defence of Spurs in front of you. Because no one is going to go out there and tell me that Spurs have got a better defence than Inter Milan.
Who do they have?
I mean, if I want to go on the list here with Balotelli and the others they got in the back, Dumfries and everyone else and that, off the top of my head, remember, it's still 9:30 in the morning here. I'm terrible with names anyway.
Yeah.
But with the defence they've got, they are more solid than us. Yeah. I mean, we've got two centre backs, and then that's it basically, because we got bloody wing backs playing on the side who cannot fucking defend. Bar Spence can defend. Yeah.
Would you say Dumfries and Spence are pretty similar in their ways?
Yes, very.
Okay.
Except
one is better at attacking.
I would say Dumfries is a little bit more similar to Pop. No. Spence. Except I'd say Dumfries can defend, but he's better at going forward. Whereas I'd say Spence is better at defending, but he can go forward. Whereas Porro can't defend for shit. And I've been telling everyone this for 2 years.
And
And
this
then
year can
people to
attack.
go,
And this year cannot attack.
I just think, do you know what? Sell him. Sell him. And the reason I say sell him is because we are not going to play that player to his bloody potential. Sell him. I like Porro. I think we could get a lot out of Porro. I just think we waste him for what he can do, basically. But go on what I said with Vicario going into Milan. What's your views on that? I mean, I've read a couple of things between 25 and 35 million euros. What do you reckon?
Okay, I'll look at it in both ways. At Spurs and Vicario, I'll look at both just to make it fair. If I was Vicario, I would tell my agent, please sell me now. If Inter Milan, of course, will call in. Because you know their goalkeeper right now, Sommer, is like...
He's about 39, isn't he?
He's about 39, like he's pretty old. And Vicario, how did he make a name?
Still not a bad goalkeeper, though. Still not a bad keeper. He's not a bad keeper.
He's not. He's not bad, but like, it's time for Inter to level up. Like, it's time to move on from him. Like, he's getting old.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, age will catch up on him. And Vicario, he made a name for himself in Italy, where he was in a, let's say, a pretty average club, and was arguably one of the best goalkeepers there. And for me, Vicario is made for Italy, which is,
I think so.
You have a defending system in front of you. They're gonna protect you, and probably die on the pitch, while you do your job, which is while you do your.
I was just saying a message there.
Yeah, well,
I still haven't watched this thing yet. I'm going to watch it later. Sorry, Dietrich, go on, mate.
No worries. No, watch it. It's actually a good interview. It's pretty good. And Vicario, for me, is made for Italy because it's only about one thing, which is shot stopping. They don't care, other than some clubs, of course, but in general, they don't care about playing out from the back, being expansive. No, it's about doing one job only, and it's shot stopping. And what I look at Spurs. Spurs are in a position where they cannot afford to make mistakes now, especially that Levy's gone. So now that Levy's gone, it's time to overhaul the squad with the players they want, the system they need. And a coach, especially, Frank or not, you need a coach where he's going to spend at least 2 years, not sack him, of course. Find a manager that is going to suit the system, and a goalkeeper that can play any system, probably any system, like, for example, Donnarumma. Can be a shot stopper, can command his box, and could do the basics right with playing off the back. He's not the best, but at least he can do it. He can do a minimum job. And that's what Spurs need. Find a solid goalkeeper now. We don't have one. And Vicario, for me, instead of going from bottom to up, he's going like it's the complete opposite. I feel like he's stalling, and Spurs fans are getting on his back, and you can tell it's affecting him. That's what goes on.
It does affect the players. I mean, I can't deny that, yeah. But it's just, I suppose some would say, my bad attitude. But this is where we're all different age groups. This is where we've all grown up in different societies, different cultures, different bloody this, different bloody that. And the way it always was for me is I could moan a couple of times to my friends about something and they'd listen about it. And then if I went and moaned to them about the third time about it and I hadn't attempted to do anything about it, I'd probably end up getting one of my mates slap me in the face and say, grow up here and get your fucking act together. Sort your shit out.
Yeah,
because you can moan about something a couple of times and then it becomes whinging, doesn't it? And then it becomes whining. And then you just get pissed off with your mate that don't stop whining at you. And with that aspect, it's... I can understand how it affects the players by booing at them and stuff like that, but deal with it. It's part of your bloody job. You're getting paid 80 grand, 90 grand, 100 grand, 50 grand a week. Even if you're on tuppence money of 12 grand a week, my heart fucking bleeds.
That's a lot of money.
You get what I mean? Yeah?
That's a lot
my
of
heart
money.
bleeds, yeah? It's part of the job. If you can't handle it, then you shouldn't have got into the job. But I do understand I don't agree with the booing a single player in a game. I don't think that's right. Half time, I think boo them off the pitch if you need to, tell them about themselves, and full time. But if I'm going to be right, I think you leave it till the end of the game till you let out your emotion on what they're doing as such. And booing him during the game, I don't think that was necessarily the right idea to do it. But do you think it's actually starting to affect him now that he knows the Spurs fans are starting to get a bit, let's just say in a nice way, skeptical of him?
Well, I thought Italians were pretty strong mentally. That's what I thought. And from what I'm seeing from Vicario, I'm a bit disappointed with him.
Bloody Dietrich, we are at a stage in 2025 where people bloody have unicorns on their wall these days, and people go and get mental, and people go and get bloody mental help because they're trying to work out how to open a bloody front door because they've spent their whole life sitting inside playing fucking Minecraft. Yeah, so people being mentally strong these days, I think, is few and far between.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just the wrong way to look at it. So you do think it is having an effect on him?
No, of course it's having an effect on you because, like, usually we all know, like, even you, Dan, when you play football, like, you're going to feel the pressure even before the game. You feel a bit like, I wouldn't say like you're scared, but like you're a bit stressed. It's normal. But then every time you touch the ball, the fans are booing you or like making fun of you. Of course it's going to affect you. Like, you know, but for me, this is where I look at a player and say, okay, they booed you. They say you're not good enough for us anymore. Well, show us now that you can improve. I'm not saying you should make a 10 out of 10 next game, but at least show us something.
No, I get what you mean.
For me, what pisses me off with him the most, it's just screaming at other players instead of saying, you know what, guys, my bad. Just like he did against Fulham. Raise your hand and say, you know what, I fucked it up. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen again.
Sometimes you just got to put your hands up and say, I got it wrong. I mean, it's no different to having a debate or an argument or a talk on here, and then you realise that maybe your opinion is a bit shit or you got it wrong. And some people will still defend it to the brick wall where they might as well headbutt the thing. And then some people you might as well just talk to a fucking brick wall because you get more sense out of it. But when it comes down to it, sometimes you have just got to put your hands up and say, my bad. And he doesn't seem to do that, does he? Still, how are we doing? You sound like you're in a car.
Yeah, just driving, bro. You all right? Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
So, how you been this morning? All good? Did you actually get a decent night's sleep?
Yeah, about 6 hours.
It's 6 hours more than me. So,
oh really?
Yeah, it was just no. What it is with me is sometimes, cut a long story short, is sometimes the medication that does it. It sometimes has an effect where it literally puts me to sleep, and then other times it just has it. It's what drugs does to you. Medication does to you, should I say?
Sometimes
drugs
it Yeah. What are we talking about? What's the topic?
Right, Vicario. Inter Milan are interested. They want him. From what I keep saying in a lot of things, is that they want him in January. They're meant to be offering between 25 and 35 million euros. I know it's always buts and maybes. We can only go by the bullshit we read on the press anyway. By all these, what are they called, ITKs or whatever, and that, and then their friend's got a friend who's people have got a friend who's an ITK, who's got a friend who's an ITK, who's got a friend who's an ITK. That by the time it comes back to you and you talk it out on here, you're talking complete and utter bullshit. But you only heard it off an ITK that heard it off a fucking ITK somewhere else. And so, what do you think about the Vicario thing?
Do you know what I think people do? I think they go online and they see some journalist has spouted something, right? So a random journalist will say Inter Milan want Vicario, and then what these people do is that they read that message and then they go on YouTube and they say, yeah, I've got a mate in the club that says that Vicario's off. And they just waffle.
It does seem that way. I mean, at least if you see it on YouTube or like on the internet and that, you can bring it up, like say, I read it on there. But then you do have a few of them that seem to have all these ITKs in the club and seem to never get it fucking right, don't you? Well, if that's your ITK, mate, you want to put one in the back of his head because he definitely ain't doing his fucking job properly. Or he's just not very good at it, or just maybe the wife didn't tell him what he wanted to hear. Or, well, the other ITK's wife, should I say, you know? Like, go and speak.
You know, like...
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, like when they used to get him into the house and everything and that, and then hear the stories and everything, and then people would come in the house to speak to the ladies as such to hear about the information they'd heard while they were doing their job, let's say. And I don't really know how else to put that.
Do you remember?
And
do you remember the ITKs about as is coming to Spurs? I'll never forget these guys.
Mate,
do you know what? There's I won't mention his name, but there's a big journalist on the on X, and he kept getting it wrong. Okay, so I commented on one of his tweets saying, mate, these players, and I listed like 4 players. You said they're coming to Spurs. Not a single one has come to Spurs. How have you got credible sources? It doesn't make sense. But his reply, he called me a see you next Tuesday. He called me every name under the sun because basically he got rattled that someone remembered everything he said, and I screenshotted it and I sent it to him, and he just lost the plot. Like,
well, actually, I know who you're talking about. I know.
Oh, mate, the fraudulence is. Listen, Vicario, if we can sell him, sell him.
And you know what? If someone gave me attitude like that after I said that, I'd probably just leave a message on there like, "Sorry, mate, didn't mean to offend you, but can you do me a favour? I left my wallet under your pillow." And with that one, I think that would piss him off even more. So, but then, yeah,
you should say to him, mate, sorry if I've offended you, but can you do me a favour? Is Eze coming to Spurs?
Yeah, innit. And while you're at it, get that fucking gold card from under your pillow, mate. I already gave it to your wife for the night, for fuck's sake. And with that one, I mean, you don't want to leave your credit cards anywhere. I mean, leaving it with a wife is one thing. Leaving it with someone else's wife is a fucking dangerous thing to do. And so you reckon 25, 35 for Vicario? Do you reckon that's realistic price?
What's realistic for any player nowadays? God knows. I mean, someone wants to pay the money, let them pay it. But I like Vicario. He's a good shot stopper.
Excellent.
He helped us win the cup in Bilbao. He made 2 or 3 mega saves.
Mm-hmm.
He's been man of the match a couple of times this year. He's a good goalkeeper, but unfortunately, in the modern day game, if you can't distribute with your feet, if you can't command your box with your hands from crosses and balls whipped in, you're always going to be susceptible to mistakes, and he makes too many, unfortunately. So he's not the level we need. He's good, but he's not the level we need.
He's just not a modern day goalkeeper, is he? He's not a sweeper keeper. I reckon if you would have taken him back 10, 15 years to the Peter Cech days, not relating him to Peter Cech, because personally I think that's one of the best goalkeepers there's ever been in the Premier League. I know some would disagree with that, but it's a personal opinion. I thought he was a quality goalkeeper when he was at Chelsea. Couldn't stand him, but quality keeper, goal line goalkeeper. And I think that is what Vicario is. I think he's an old school goal line goalkeeper. I mean, with his feet, he might as well have 2 bloody left feet. You get someone with a broken foot probably kick the ball more straight than that prick. And it is what it is. Now, the rumour of the goalkeeper we're meant to be looking at, and I've seen this come up on the news this morning and a couple of other things, yeah. And this was one I didn't think of, but I would actually be quite interested in. What's his name? Marc-Andre Stegen from Barcelona. I think that's their second keeper, isn't it, now?
Yeah,
good goalie.
I mean, how old is he? He's about 32. He's about 32, 33.
Yeah, he used to be a good goalkeeper, but not anymore. He fell off a cliff.
Mate,
so what?
Just go and sign the Slavia Prague goalie.
Well, do you reckon it'd be a goalkeeper worth going for, basically?
Do you know who
Is
would
it
be?
an upgrade to what we've got? Who could ride us for a couple of years and then and then we can just say, right, all right, mate, baked potato, job done, and get another one in. I know who I want. I want us to go and spend 50 mil on Diego Costa. That is the goalkeeper I personally want. Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you reckon this fella is an upgrade overall from Vicario? Because if he's an upgrade, he's an upgrade.
Okay, I'll just speak quickly on Ter Stegen because I watch Barca games in general. You see, Ter Stegen, he has a big name. He made a name for himself at Barcelona. He was really good. But
Yeah, I remember.
For a couple of years, he's been making so many mistakes left, right, and center to the point that Barca were like, you know what, you're getting benched, and we're getting another goalkeeper that's a lot cheaper, and has been really good for them.
I think he's only played about 3 games this year, hasn't he?
Yeah, barely has played. And imagine
has he even played in the league?
I don't.
I know he played cup game. I watched him play in a cup game.
I think he barely played because I know the goalkeeper got injured, so I'm not sure if he played those games. I'm not sure. I'm gonna verify soon. But with Ter Stegen, imagine your coach is German, and he doesn't even rate you. For me, just go and get a solid goalkeeper that has made a name for himself in the Champions League, like Costa, or the Roma goalkeeper. It's that simple. They can do everything. They're pretty good. Sure, they're gonna cost a lot of money, but you know what? It's worth it. They're gonna stay for at least a good 10 years. And they still haven't peaked yet.
Yeah, but for the meantime, do you think he is an improvement that can carry us for a year or two?
But it's not about meantime, Dan. It's about buying players, like you said. Unless we buy someone that's gonna be a significant upgrade, there's no point of getting bodies over the line. There's no point. You even said that, Dan. You even said I don't want to see. Sure, there might be a kid that might be good, but I don't want to see him in January, even if he's like the next best thing. Get me someone that can be really good for the now. And
that is why I want Diego Costa.
Yeah, and Ter Stegen, sure, he's better than what we have, but it's not a significant upgrade. You're just going a tier above.
Right. But for the meantime, for the next year or so, do you think it is a big enough upgrade to just carry us for a year or so while we focus on the rest of the pitch sort of thing? Because I don't think the goalkeeper is our main issue, that he's the first one we got to kick out as such. Yeah, if we keep him till the end of the season, then fine. He's going to save us games, he's going to lose us games. But do you think it would be worth getting him in January and say holding him on for a year or so and then focusing on the goalkeeper, a big goalkeeper, while we at least improve that midfield, left wing, and whatever else we got to do?
No, I personally wouldn't do it. Do you know, if that's the option we want to take, I'd rather keep Vicario. Just keep Vicario. Keep Vicario until you get a goalkeeper that you're 100% sure that's just gonna come and just like hit the ground running. That's what I want. Don't get someone that we're gonna keep it for only a year. No, I don't want that.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, still, how do you go about all this one?
Well, I think Vicario is the least of our problems.
I can agree with that.
So I wouldn't focus on the goalie, but at the same time, if you've got an opportunity to cash in, you can't say no, because we made this mistake with Eriksen where we could have sold him for 40 million. We didn't, and then we ended up selling him for 17. Eric Dyer, we could have got rid of him for 60 million to Man United, and in the end, we hardly got any money for him. So sometimes when you get a decent offer for a player that you know you're going to get rid of eventually, you might as well just cash in.
Do you know what? I can totally agree with that, because that has got to be one of the things we've been one of the worst clubs in football for, isn't it? I mean, I still think we got a good price for Eriksen, considering when we got rid of him. I must admit that was one of the Levy's. You couldn't really argue with the deal we got for the 6 months, but if we'd have sold him 6 months earlier, we could have been 40-50 million off. But what do you think on going for, what's his name? Distega? I can't pronounce his bloody name. Do it for me, Dietrich.
Ter Stegen?
That's the one.
Yeah.
What do you think on going?
I think we need someone who's proven than who's in form.
Well, he's not playing at the moment.
Yeah,
he hasn't played really this season. Do you reckon he would be one that can carry us?
Do you know who I've always liked, but who Ter Stegen?
Yeah.
No.
Do you reckon he'd be?
No. I wouldn't take. I wouldn't take the risk.
Dan.
Okay.
Dan, he has played one game this season.
Okay.
Do you know what goalie I like?
Go on.
I've always liked. Am I breaking up, guys?
Yeah, you were, but you're clear now.
Yeah, I've always liked the goalkeeper from Wolves, Sa.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Garbage.
You think everyone's fucking
listen,
garbage,
guys, I'm going through some foresty area. I'm gonna have to jump out. My internet's crackling.
All right, then, mate, no problem. Have a good day. Speak to you again soon. Have a good day. Bye. So what goalkeeper kick you out? I bet you've been kicked out of enough places, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, there you go. I'm kicking you still out. Fuck off.
He kicked himself out.
He kicked himself out. What the hell?
Oh, dude.
Beatrix, it's our show now.
You're mute.
Kick myself out.
You're mute.
You know, kick the wrong button and kick myself out. Shouldn't be on mute.
Oh,
there we go. Right. There.
Yeah, your mic is not working.
Fuck off. Right. That ain't. Yeah, is the mic working now?
No, nothing.
Well, it's coming up on here. Can everybody hear me on here now? Because the mic is showing up on here.
Mute.
What about now?
Yeah, it's still mute.
It's not on mute on it. I'm going to have to bloody jump out. Dietrich's carry it a minute. Yep, the mic says it's now working fine. There we go.
Actually, it might be me. Give me 1 second. I can't hear you. I actually can't hear you.
I can't believe I just done that. Being sarcastic, I looked at the wrong fucking button. There you go, Stel. Fuck off on that, and I kicked myself. Yes, you can tell this man has had a severe lack of sleep. So, yeah, people are going to question what goalkeeper to go for. Do we go for a goalkeeper that is established as such? Do we go for one like you're saying? And he hasn't really played all season. I do think he'd be in a little upgrade. So, like, Stel mentioned the goalkeeper that he would go for in that. I mean, I think we could get anybody off Wolves at the moment. They're done and dusty. Baked potato, see you later. They are gone. What goalkeeper would you want to see us go for then, realistically?
Me?
Well, there's no one else on here, Dietrich.
Yeah, I'm a bit slow now. Sorry. There's a goalkeeper.
At least Dietrich. At least I've got a fucking excuse. I ain't had no sleep. Get your act together.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. I'm a huge fan of a goalkeeper. He plays for Atalanta. I think his name is Marco Kaneski, something like that. He's he's a freaking giant. No, he's.
I know who you're on about.
He is so good. And another one, he plays for Roma. I think he's Serbian, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. No, those two are. I'm a big fan, but my first option, of course, it's Diego Costa. For me, goalkeepers are like defenders. You spend once big money for them, and you're not gonna worry for at least 10 years.
I mean, there's another good one as well. I mean, that is a good one. He's like, in Want Vicario, can we got Sommer? I don't think that's quite the one to go for, is it?
Sommer is good, but he's a bit too old now.
I'm trying. What one is Sommer? I'm trying to think where he's from. I know the bloody name. I know the
Swiss.
goalkeeper. Yeah, where was he playing? Was he the one at Dortmund?
No, he was Gladbach.
Right.
He used to play with Manu Kone.
Yeah, I know you're on about now. Yeah, I mean there is a choice of goalkeepers out there, but again, it is January and it's the hardest time to do it. The one that I really want to see us go for is that Diego Costa, and if we have to pay 50 mil for him, go and bloody do it. Because I personally think a goalkeeper is one there. A goalkeeper can easily get you 10 up to 15 points in a season if he's that good, in my opinion. Goalkeepers can win you leagues.
Yeah.
I mean, you agree with that one?
Yeah, of course. Goalkeepers are the last line. It's the last line. If he fucks it up, you're losing the game.
Basically,
it's the position you're not allowed to make mistakes.
I mean, for me, a goalkeeper is just like a striker on the pitch. They are the two players that have basically got that privilege to sit on that pitch and do absolutely jack shit during a game. And as long as they're alive when it comes to their point where they got to put it in the back of the net or stop it going in the back of the net, you can say they've had a brilliant game, basically. They are the two players that can pretty much just do as they wish, and as long as they do their job properly, whereas everyone else on the pitch needs to be doing something as a team, basically, doesn't it? It's like you can't just do what Johnson does and tap it in the back of the net and then fuck off for the next 90 minutes and then maybe turn up and put it in the back of the net again when we're already 4-0 up and then go preaching about how he scored 19 goals in the season, but only about 3 or 4 of his goals actually got us a point or two. But that's a different story. And
but he still scored more goals than our forward line.
I mean, but that's a different story, Dietrich. We can rant on about that one all day long. I mean, half the time he just looks like he's had a wet fish slapped across his face. But again, different story. With that, it's so who can we go for right now? Who can we get right now if we get rid of Vicario? Because sure as hell, if we get rid of Vicario, I ain't too interested in Kingsley taking over for the season.
Yeah, but what is right now? This January you saw him?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's when Inter are saying they want him. They want him now. That's what I'm reading. I can only go by what I read. That's not off one of my ITKs that's heard it off another of his ITKs and everything else. That's just what I'm reading. So it's probably one ITK that's probably speaking bullshit anywhere. But the news is spreading around a bit, isn't it?
Okay, if they want him this January, they gotta pay premium, of course.
Oh,
if you're talking about 40 million, if they're talking about 40 million, which I know Inter are broke, they're not gonna do. So the story's probably bullshit, but it's okay. Mm-hmm. If it's 40 million, then yeah, I can agree sell him. But with that 40 million, you go and pay, and you add probably like 10 million above, and you play Diego Costa release clause. He has a release clause in his contract.
Does he?
And that's what you do. Yeah, he does.
Any idea?
I think it's 70 million. So
wow.
you have the 30 million.
70 million euros. So that works out at about that works out about 58, something like that. Just call it 60 for fucking sake. Yep. I ain't gonna get my bloody.
You add the 20 million and you have Diego Costa. You just activate his release clause. And I'm pretty sure you can pay installments. So
yeah, well, that's pretty much how everyone pays anyway. I mean, I would be willing to do that. I know there's more important players on the pitch that we need to get as such, but if you can get an offer like that, for me, that's one you snap up.
Yeah, 100%.
But I just don't see that happening in January, basically.
No,
I mean, when Liverpool went out, they got Virgil van Dijk and they got Alisson. Yeah, they got Alisson basically, and that totally just changed the whole system, didn't it? And I think if we can't get the significant player that we want, and then there's that one there, snap him up as far as I'm concerned. But do I see it happening in January? I must admit, I don't see that one. I don't see that one happening in January. I mean, I've had other people tell me we should be going for Oblak and stuff like that. Yeah, I wish. I think he's come down a peg or two compared to what a goalkeeper he was, but I still think he's light years ahead of what we got.
Well, he's a phenomenal shot stopper.
Phenomenal. Oh, yes, he is.
Yes,
I think he's a brilliant goalkeeper. But that's one that is just never, ever, ever going to happen in that aspect, isn't it?
No way.
I mean, there's the other rumour going about at the moment that Savinho's up for grabs at the minute. I mean, how many games has he started this season? I know he's played about 8 or 9, maybe 10 even, something like that, random number like that. Let's just say 10 for the sake of the thing. But how many has he actually started and played? I mean, you're a lot better on this one than me.
Savinho, he has played in the Premier League 12 games. But hasn't started a bunch of them, no.
So basically, you think he needs to get more games in coming up to the World Cup sort of thing?
He has played 400 minutes for them in the Premier League, so that's barely anything.
Yeah.
So he was mostly used as a sub.
So do you think we could... do you think we could get him up on loan at least?
Can you get Savinho on loan? Yes, you can. But once again, is it the easy option? Yes. Do I like Savinho? Yeah. But for me, I'd rather get a player like Lookman, for example. That's like my number one target. And I mean, that wouldn't cost a lot. And he's probably like everything we need. Can play in any system. Under any managers, yes, he has an ego. Yes, he fights with his managers, but it is what it is. Savinho, the biggest problem I have with Savinho, number one, he's left-footed and can only play on the left wing. And for me, it's like Kudus. They don't score enough to be wingers for me. And Kudus barely scores for us, and Savinho is like the same way. He only gets assists. And for me, the only way you can get assists is if you have a lethal striker, and we don't.
Yeah, lethal striker. You can say Richarlison is lethal to himself. And that's about it.
Then if he's lethal, I'll be playing in the Premier League. Come on, man.
You know. But he's been putting in a couple of goals, so he's been doing better than others we got. But don't worry, people, we've got Solanke coming back at some time. Great. I just depressed my morning even more. And I do get a lot of people, I do see a lot of people on the chat say, like on other channels and stuff like that, like Bing Guy has just said here, or Beanie Guy, whatever way you want me to put it, is Savinho is shit. I don't think he's shit. I think that's a bit OTT. I think, do you know what? I think that's a bit of an issue that people have with words. When a player's not that good, he's all right. He's an all right player. He's shit. Or if a player's like pretty good, he's generational. He's world class. Again, it's one way or the fucking other with Spurs, isn't it? Yeah, there's no in between. I don't think he is shit in any means or manner. I actually think he's a good player, and I think he's got potential to become a very good player. I look on him like I look on Simmons, yeah? Now, Simmons, for me, is a player that we bought on potential, yeah?
He's a mistake.
Everything's a fucking mistake to you, isn't it? You know what? I might as well call you Scott M from now on. You're that depressing. And with that one, sorry, Scott. It's going to be a saying from now on after that last one. Again, people who saw the show will understand. With that one, I think I've got a deeper voice. When it comes to that one, I think Simmons, we got him on 2 very good seasons he had, but we bought him a hell of a lot on potential of what we expect him to improve to as such, isn't it? Whereas, say, Paulinho, we got him for what he is established as. Same as Kudus, basically, and same as Moane. Now, do you know what? Let me bring up Moane here for a minute, yeah? Quite a few people was happy when we got him. It weren't maybe the smartest one to do, because he did already have an injury in that, and it was going to take a little bit of time. I did say he's not a prolific goal scorer or whatever, but I do think he's a good player. I mean, if we got a striker there, I would not complain with him playing out on the left. I do think he is a good player. I do think he can score a goal. I think he's good on the ball. I think he holds the ball well. I think his ball control is very, very good. And if we got an offer to take him for 40 million, I think I'd quite happily take him. But I don't think I'd necessarily take him as the striker. I think we could actually get more out of him playing on the left if we've got a solid striker in there and use him a bit more of the Sonny style inside forward. But you're never going to get the same amount of goals out of him. But do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah. But I've watched a lot of Moani, like especially like I've followed him in his career.
I watched him in Juventus a lot.
I watched him in Juventus. I watched him at Frankfurt and a couple of games for Nantes when he was in France. Mm-hmm. My biggest issue with Moani, and it's the same way you give crap to Richarlison, he is a purple patch player. He will frustrate you more than give you good moments. And for me, other than PSG, for me this season, he hasn't had a good game as a forward. And what I mean by forward is be clinical.
PSG was about the only one you can say that, isn't it?
Yeah, PSG is the only game. The other games, yeah, he's shown movement. Sure, he's shown something. But I'm just talking about being a lethal striker. Just a striker in general. He hasn't shown it for me. And whatever the money whatever PSG say we're gonna sell him for, I wouldn't accept it.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I'm tired of just having players. I want to see us get players that are going to take us to the next level. People are going to be consistent, just like, for example, Son. You know he's not the best at everything, but you know what? He's good at one thing, which is shooting with both feet and running in behind.
One of the best players. The way he was able to finish with both feet, I will say he was world class at that. He wasn't a world class overall player for me.
Yes.
But I don't think I've ever seen many people, strikers, whatever, who were just as capable on both feet as Son was.
But that's what you need. Yeah, that's what you need. You need someone that's elite at something. And especially when it comes to
Hotspur says here, is this actually right? Like, we've already got 2 loans, so you can't have no more loans.
Honestly, I don't know how many loans we got.
Well, we got 2. Does that mean we actually can't have no more? I mean, because that's a rule I don't know. It's a rule I can't say I've ever actually paid attention to, if I'm going to tell the truth.
The only rule I know is in January you cannot register more than 2 players or 3 in Europe. So you got to be careful what you do.
You know that way. If I'm going to be honest, I don't really give a toss how many we can do in Europe, because I really don't see us going. I think we're going to be very lucky if we make it through the next stage of the Champions League. Basically, I'm more bothered about just making something of the league. I mean, okay, if we can get further in the Champions League, great, but I don't actually see it happening, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, at this point, how bad we are in the league, just trying to win the Champions League.
You know what I mean? Let's just blow the league out and go for that Champions League. Yeah, like, no. Maybe you drank a bit too much last night. I mean, it is just a bit of a messy situation we're in at the moment, and who is out there to get at the moment. I mean, I definitely think we need that centre midfielder as well, don't you?
For me, my biggest priority is left wing and centre mid.
What's that?
I said my 2 biggest priorities are getting a left winger and a centre mid.
Yes, I can totally agree with that.
And you know who's my favorite centre mid, and it's Locatelli or Ederson.
Yes.
If it's not one of them or one of those calibers, I just don't want to see them at the club.
I mean, Locatelli, I don't think that one's going to happen. We had that chance 2 years ago, basically, where we could have snapped him up for about 30 million when they were willing to let go of him for that. And he was actually literally on the market for that. And again, it's another one where we have a lot of Spurs supporters turn around and say Locatelli is not good enough for us. Like, would you have complained now if we would have gone and got Jack Grealish on loan?
Do you know what? I was against it in the summer, but now I regret what I've said. I wish we had.
You can put your hands up and say, I fucked up.
No, I fucked. Because I thought we were going to get Eze, but I fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, and what's Dave saying there? Loan rules only apply to domestic loans. So if it only applies, someone's going to have to correct me again here by working this out. Remember, I've had no bloody sleep. So if it's only domestic loans, doesn't that... We haven't actually got a domestic loan, have we? We've got 2 European loans, isn't it? If I'm looking at that correctly.
Yeah, so yeah.
So that would... See what I mean? And people saying you're allowed 4 loans, whatever, and that. So would that means 2 European loans and 2 domestic loans?
Yeah, I believe so. But anyways, if we got Moani on loan, so just cut it. If you can get someone better, just cut his loan.
What, simple. Really? Yeah, I think the way it's working is people are saying you're allowed 2 European loans, 2 domestic loans and that. Well, we haven't got no 2 English loans as such. So I presume that means you're allowed 4 loans, 2 European and 2 English. That's how I'm taking this now.
Yeah,
I think a few people are trying to work it out themselves. It's like the way they change the handball rule every season. That like what actually is a handball. A handball is meant to be when you intentionally touch the ball with your hand. But these days you can have your hand down your fucking trousers, let alone behind your back, and it hits them, and you still get done for a fucking handball, don't you?
Someone said you're allowed 6 loans, but only 2 domestic.
Okay, I'm sure someone's checked. So either way, so we can go out there and still get a couple of loans, basically.
Yes.
I mean, I do think as well, this is where I think we need to look on Spurs as a bit of a reality check here. And yes, we are a big club. There is no 2 ways about it. But we are not this elite club. And as far as I'm concerned, history is a big thing. I love history, not just in football, but in everything, yeah? But for me, I look on history on football in a different way. It's irrelevant. It's only relevant when you're going to the stadium and talking about the club. Who gives a monkeys what Bill Nicholson done for us? How many years? I mean, when was it? He done that with 60s, wasn't it? Who really gives what player actually gives a toss that we won the FA Cup eight times? What player actually cares that we were the first ones to win a European Cup and whatever else and go? It's irrelevant.
I'll bet you they don't care that much. They don't care that much that if you ask them who's Bill Nicholson, they're like, "Who the fuck is that?"
That's a bit harsh.
No, it's not harsh. That I'll bet you they don't know who the fuck it is.
Yeah, I mean these days, mind you, you can always just ask your chat GPT these days, isn't it? I mean, people these days are just genuine. I mean, people these days, I mean, especially youth, they're a bit thicker in general. It's not their thought. It's just where they don't have to use no brain power because the iPhone does it all for you, or where they've spent so long in front of Minecraft and that. You know, do you know what? Like when it comes to all that sort of stuff, like just, I know it's diverting a bit quickly, but when it comes to all that sort of stuff, I do not envy younger people of this day and age. I mean, you couldn't have kept me indoors if you'd have chained me up to the fucking wall. I was out of that door. These days, and like literally about, I'd say 80% of us would always be playing football day in, day out, non-stop. Yes, you'd always have that fat fella sitting over there who just could not play football or whatever, so you just stick him in goal because he took up the most space, and most people didn't want to play in goal, yeah? But that's what happened, wasn't it? It always happened. It's true. You always have the poor bigger boy sitting in the goal, isn't it? But I do think this day, like a lot of juvenile, they've just become that thick where they're playing Minecraft so long and everything that when they come to 16 and can't get a job, they're just turning into a bit of a wrong and fit. I think, do you know what? Like, we need some money. Let's go do a job. And when they mean do a job, they mean do a dodgy job and that. So I tell you what, I want the next door neighbour's PlayStation. Let's get in his house and get his PlayStation. But then 3 hours later, they're still sitting there in a house scratching their head saying, where's the PlayStation? They can't work out that they've just got in the fucking treehouse because they're that thick instead of the house.
You done. I know it's a bit diverting, but it's actually a true story I'm about to say. My friend knows this guy, like in his past job, and his son had to call like the doctor's office to book an appointment for his insurance and do his insurance. And the guy called. He's like, and one of the workers were like, "What's your address?" He's like, "My dad's address." And he's like, "No, no, tell me the address." He's like, "Yeah, my dad's address." I swear the guy's like, "No, I know it's your dad's address, but like, tell me exactly the address." He's like, "Oh, I don't know."
It's so true, isn't it? It's just so true, isn't it? I mean, if you're a parent and your kid said that, what would you do? Would you slap them, or would you just walk away in embarrassment and depressed sort of thing? You know, just walk away. It'd be one of them wins where it would like just.
And then the sister had to be.
It'd be one of those ones, Dietrich, where you'd have to walk away, sort of do that, and just say, "Yeah, I fucked up."
No, the sister was behind, and then she had to answer the question for him. She's like, "Yeah, it's this avenue, this."
Yeah. And you can definitely imagine that kid was, let's just say, on a list. And that's the most I'll say to that one. And Sean the Boss, thank you very much. Much appreciated for the super sticker. Sorry about diverting people. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of them bloody days, isn't it? And Mark, big up to you too. Hope you're doing good. And what's Boomverse saying here? 100%, yeah. Used to play football continuously and other sports all day. Exactly the same, mate. And yet that poor fella always ended up in goal. I don't deny that. But I just do think these... When you do look at what somebody's going to be running our world in a few years' time, you just do actually think, thank fuck, I ain't going to be here. But we'll just leave that to another one. I mean, do you know what? I might even just start another channel on that one, yeah, because it is football. So, right, let's divert back to the football and leave the poor kid in goal. I don't know, he might have been a good goalkeeper, but still, he weren't diving from side to side very well. And so... if we could go out there and get a centre mid, what do you think is a realistic one that we can actually be looking at?
Or because Ederson for 50 million, 60 million.
I think he's a player we can go for. No, seriously, mate. I think he's a player we can go for because Italy is. I've been telling people this for a year and a half now. Italy is up shit street with the money in a big way, except for what is it? Is it Collar?
Como.
Yeah, apart from them who've just been bought over by multi billionaires. I mean, what is it they run? They run a tobacco factory, innit?
Yeah, tobacco, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're filthy rich.
Yeah, exactly. So you know they are going to become something, yeah. But literally every club in Italy, and I had people tell me, yeah, well, they spent like this team spent 120 million. Yeah, I know they did. But if you look how much money they're coming in, they had about 80, 90 million coming in with players they bloody sold as well. So the money out there ain't great. And with a club of our caliber and size, yeah, and the money we are supposedly meant to have, we should actually have the capability of going out there and bullying them, basically, shouldn't we? I mean, okay, you're going to have to pay a couple of quid extra and everything and that because it is January or whatever. But I do think we've got more than enough capability of going out there and getting him, putting the money on the table and saying, look, mate, you're getting that there. Come play in the best league. Yes, okay, it's Tottenham, but give him the story of we have intentions of him improving. Basically bullshitting. Like we've got intentions of improving and that. And go out and get him. And I think we could get him for a good 50, pushing at 60.
Yeah, 100%. Because you see Spurs, like, sorry, like we said 100 times, it's not the type of club where it's elite, where you can go and just pick a player like Manchester or Liverpool. You have to go get a player where he's, I wouldn't say like he declined a bit, and he's unhappy with his role. And for me, Ederson is the perfect example of that. Someone that you know is good.
He can midfield, and he can attack.
He can attack, and he's a Brazilian international, and you know he's not happy where he is. So you can just go and take him and move him to the best league in the world and give him a higher wage.
And personally, the way he plays and the way I've seen him play, I don't think he would actually have much trouble physically setting into the Premier League. But then again, you never know what's going to go on the mental side as such. I mean, again, we go back to that side of people being younger, being slightly mentally weaker. I mean, it's no disrespect, it's just a fact. I mean, how old is he? 25, isn't he?
25, 26.
Yeah.
Because even before his club, before he joined Atalanta, he was at another club. I don't know how to pronounce it. He was still good. Ederson is the type of guy where, you know what? He's a solid 7.5 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. So I don't think mentally it's going to be an issue. My biggest issue now, can he find his form from 2 years ago where he was freaking elite? Where he was basically a box crusher. No, that's the biggest question mark I have for him.
I mean, I think he could be the ideal player we can get. Get.
It's a gamble you have to take.
I do think he's the one. I mean, what's Sean saying here? I like Sudiga. Is he the one in Portugal?
I have no idea.
The fella's on about Sudogov. Is he the one who plays in Portugal? The Russian fella? Is he Russian, Ukraine? One or they're close to each other.
I don't know. It sounds Ukrainian. Let me have a look.
I think he is. I mean, where is it? Is it Portugal? I think he's at Benfica.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yes?
Him. Yeah. It's the guy that was Shakhtar Donetsk. Yeah. I know what he's on about.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about him. I just know of.
I haven't watched him a lot. I don't know.
No. But it's just really at that point at the minute where it's just, who the hell do we go for? I mean, are you also at that thing where, I mean, what would you rather we do? Yeah, would you rather we go and just get someone for the sake of it because we have to go and get them, or would you even prefer if we turned around and said, right, we can't get our prime target or our second or third, we're just going to have to wait until the end of the season? Because I've had enough of us going out and just getting crap, mate. I've had enough of us just going out and getting bog standard crap, basically, and fill gaps and everything else and that. I would rather that when we get players, they improve that first 11 every time we buy that bloody team. No more bloody kids, no more bloody players that have never even played in a big league or so. I mean, you could call the Championship a big league, but only for taking your kneecaps out. And, you know, something like that, basically. I want us to, every player we go and gets into that first 11.
Yeah,
Stop buying players that are going to sit on the subs bench or sit on there are going to have to look up to someone else.
No, I don't want any players that haven't hit puberty yet. I don't want these guys anymore.
Matt, I sent you the link, mate. And
for me,
yeah, I want us to go and get established bloody players now.
For me, there's no
world class, because we're not in a world class situation to do that. Instead of going out and spending 100 million on a player, for example, who's a quality player, I would rather go out and spend 50 million each way or 60 million, 40, whatever way, on two good established players who get into that first team to improve the 11 as a whole. I don't think we're quite at that stage where we should be looking at that £100 million player to play up there, and then he looks over his shoulder and who's he got playing next to him, basically. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I'll be fair. I know January is a bit hard to get players, but you had 4 months of doing your due diligence.
Very
so
much.
Now there's no excuses for me. Are we gonna get Ederson? Likelihood, no.
No.
But for me, there's other players that are similar to him that exist in football. There's not only one player that can play the same style as him. So for me, now, if I'm Spurs, you're in a position where you're struggling in the league. You have a manager that's, no offense, like if he calls a player, like no player is gonna look and like, do you know what, I want to play for you. Like nobody gives a fuck about Frank. So now you do have to pay a premium, which is wages and fees. And if I'm Spurs now, you know you're struggling at the forward line and at the center mid position. Go and pay a premium on a player, even though he's probably not worth it exactly. But I just don't care. Just get me someone, because I'm sick and tired of watching Archie Gray in center mid.
God, do you know what? I feel sorry that he gets brought up every time and that, but
no, I don't feel sorry that an 18-year-old is making 75 grand a week, living the best life. and clearly hasn't improved for years. So, do you know what? I do not feel bad for him.
I mean, what Prince has just said here, basically, this is the point I'm basically trying to say. Like, £100 million player would be wasted at this stage unless all the other players were at the same ability or close. This is why I'm saying, instead of going and getting that £100 million player, not that we ever bloody will, is go and get 2 established, solid, good players that improve that first 11 and improve it as a whole, as a team sort of thing, instead of that one elite player in there as such.
Yeah, 100%. Because if you look at all the money we wasted on young talent that haven't hit the ground running, I could have just taken the money and just spent some on someone that's gonna take us to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't do it anymore, Dan. Like, I just cannot watch. Honestly, as much Bergvall is the only one that can say, you know, he's the bright light of the club. The rest of them, I just cannot do it anymore. Just get me someone that can play football, please. I'm not, I'm not the biggest Paulinho fan. I think he's a good player, but like, I think we can do better than him. But I just want to see Simmons, Ederson level, and a Paulinho in midfield, and I'll be the happiest man in the world.
Now, you see, I like Paulinho, yeah, but when you and my mate Dave had a chat, and I think Ben was on here as well. Yeah, I agree totally with what you said. Paulinho as an all-round player is nothing special.
He's not good.
What Paulinho does do, I wouldn't say it's bad, but he's nothing special. But what he does do at clearing up that ball, getting it and getting rid of it, and bossing the DM part, I think he's bloody good at it.
What's texting me?
I think he's very good at it, basically. And but he is that sort of player that
Yo, I like the notification sound.
he is that sort of player.
I actually love it.
Family Guy, isn't it? Peter Griffin. And I do think he is quality at what he does, but that is all he does. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he's quality at one job, but for me, like you say, you're the same person and others that say goalkeeper is. There's a new generation of goalkeepers that have to play out from the back, like be modern.
Mm-hmm.
Well, midfield is the same way. It's not only about tackles, it's about progressing the ball, being good at touches, being good at passing, and Paulinho, offense, is not good at it.
But I think he's very good at what he does do.
Paulinho would be, do you know what? Paulinho is the perfect player you have on the bench or when you have an injury. But when it comes to week in, week out starting, that's when it becomes a problem.
What, you reckon his stamina's come down, basically?
Well, first of all, he's old. Second of all...
Old. 30 is not old, for fuck's sake.
No, old in the sense that... there's better players a lot younger than him that can do more. That's what I mean by old. Not old like he can't do it anymore. No. For me, Paulinho is the type of guy I would have against the top 6. But when it comes against the bottom 10 teams, it's time to have someone that can... You need a player that we need on the ball, that is really good on the ball, like a Locatelli. Just put him at the 6, and he's going to dictate the tempo.
I mean, I agree with what No Trob is saying here. Everyone who begged for Paulinho in the summer, me being one of them, I wanted him since his first season at Fulham, yeah. And Summer knew what type of player he was, but now all of a sudden he's not good enough, apparently. No, not for me, he's not good enough. I want him in that team. He's one of my first picks, but he's only good at what he does. But that is what I would have him there for anyway, so that's all I want, yeah. I want him to be that DM. And I think he is a very good player at that, personally. I think he's getting a hell of a lot of stat.
I have to go soon because I'm getting tired now.
Oh, for right. Me, Paulinho, you go to work, didn't you?
Yeah, still have work, yeah. But for
all right,
Paulinho,
then, mate, go on.
Yeah, just quickly. Hi, Matt. Hope you're doing well. For me, Paulinho is... In my budget, no? Okay. Paulinho is so good at one thing and one thing only, which is being a destroyer. And I love that about him.
Mm-hmm.
But when we
there
play
you go.
teams, but when we play against teams like Fulham, that's when I want to see more. And it's not against him. We know he's good at one thing, and we bought him for that reason. But that's when you get an Ederson, you can just say, Paul, you can just say,
go on, keep talking. Give me one.
yeah. Ederson can just say, you know what, give me the ball, and you just sit back. And that's what I like about midfielders. And Paulinho, unfortunately, is struggling because he doesn't have the right partners. And that's the biggest problem we have.
But we've definitely got to start him against Liverpool.
Of course. If he doesn't start against Liverpool, you know Frank is a moron.
I'm going to go into this one with Matt anyway. Anyway, go on, Dietrich. Go on and have a good day, mate. Everyone. And I'll catch up with you soon. Take care, fella.
Take care, guys.
See you later. Right, Matt, you still there?
Yeah, just give me 1 second. The internet's playing up. I'll be 10 seconds.
Okay, I'm counting. 10, 9, 8, 7. So don't mind me, mate. I'm just a sarcastic mood this morning. Yeah, I do think Paulinho is getting a fair amount of stick this season when a lot of people wanted him. Same as I think Bentancur has not had a bad season at all, yeah? I'm not saying he's been great, but a lot of work I've been seeing him do. I've been seeing him do a lot of the dirty work, a lot of the messy work. I mean, the amount in one game, I think 3 times in the first half, he covered Romero's arse and everything and that and got absolutely no credit for it until it got pointed out, basically, yeah? And I don't think he's had a bad season. No, not a spectacular player. Is he good enough for the first team? At the moment, yes, he is. He is better than Sarri. He's better than Gray. Bergville, I don't really think you can compare him to because they're 2 different sort of players and that. When we play Liverpool tomorrow, if this manager goes and starts, if there's no injury reason or nothing, and goes and puts Archie fucking Gray next to Bentancur or Paulinho, I think that is where I'm nearly on my turning point. I mean, surely he's got to have more intellect than that, basically. And again, it sounds like he gets picked on and whatever, but it's just the fact of we should be having better at the club, more established. And when you're going up against a team like Liverpool, no matter how bad they have been of recent, you need better than Archie Gray in that midfield, without a doubt. I mean, what are you saying here, big guy? Paulinho is like Vicario, good at one specific thing, but that's it. Fans nowadays demand so much. Do you know what, mate? You've just hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what I say. As a DM, I think he does an excellent job. I really do. Oh, we have another guest. Mia, how are we doing?
Can you hear me?
Sadly.
Ah, cheek of him, man.
Yeah, that was a bit of a slow reaction, wasn't it, Mia? God, what is it? No one on
No, because I
calling?
couldn't. No, it's because my earphones were bugging out.
Okay.
Don't start blaming me. Listen, yeah, I'm quick, yeah. I'm nimble, I'm quick, I'm little, yeah. So don't think I can't be quick.
Well, then quicken up. How are we doing anyway?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. I was just thinking about the lineup, what you were saying about the team, man. Who would you have line up for this game against Liverpool? Because we've had a week, don't forget, to train and to get ideas into the players. So, who would you start?
Well, I'll come to the starting with the Liverpool one in a second and that. Matt, you alive now?
Yeah, I'm alive. Sorry, the internet was playing up.
It always does up your end, doesn't it?
Yeah, Birmingham, mate.
Don't even go there, mate. I've been there once and never again. Let's just say I didn't have the best experiences. So with this game with Liverpool tomorrow, I mean, we'll come to the thing what you said in a second, Mia. How are you feeling about this Liverpool game tomorrow?
To me or to Mia?
To everybody.
Go on, Mia. Ladies first. Over to you, Mia.
Oh, thank I'm a bit.
Hang on. No. Bollocks. I ain't having that, yeah? Ladies first. Forget chivalry, yeah? Women fought tooth and nail through hardcore feminism and that, and thanks to their own intelligence, managed to get their car insurance up by 75%. But that's a political story. Chivalry don't come into this one, yeah? It's equality. It's about equality.
Listen, we're not even. Don't even go down that road, yeah. Because I'm somebody, yeah. I will pay half a bill if someone wants to take me out. I will never expect no man to pay for me, yeah. But what I will say is that most crimes against women are committed by men. So that just shows the equality is not quite there. Anyway, so I say less because I'm also going to get into a political debate about it. But what I'll say is this Liverpool team isn't one. I think they've not been as good, but they seem to be starting picking up form, and it is us. In these big games, man, we haven't been good. We haven't played against Chelsea well. We didn't play against Arsenal well. So I'm worried that basically
Forest.
I think for me, I feel like I'm worried more about Frank worrying about what they've got to offer more than what we've got to offer. And I think that's where he goes wrong. So I'm a little bit nervous about this game, man. I don't think we've never really been good against Liverpool either. Like even games where we look like we should have, there's games where they've scored last minute so many times, and we've actually played well and we didn't win. So I just don't think this game I'm not very confident at all.
No, I must admit, I'm seeing it as well where I'm not exactly too confident on this one as well. I never am against Liverpool. I mean, they usually tear us a new arsehole, and there's no two ways about that one. No ifs or buts, basically, yeah. And if ever there is a time to play them, you would say it is now. I mean, people saying that Salah's not playing, I mean, to me, that's pretty irrelevant at the moment because I think he's been absolute dog shit this season, I'm going to be honest. But if he was ever going to turn it on, I mean, if you look on it on the last game and that, he was standing on the side, like taking pictures of himself with bloody iPhone. Should have got slapped in the face for that. But again, different opinions. I mean, Matt, how do you see this one coming with Liverpool?
Yeah, I have to agree. You have to agree with me that I think our record against Liverpool, home or away, is awful. I think our record at home this season, just like last season, is poor. And I think the mood is changing towards Frank with the home fans because the home fans aren't seeing enough. Not even results, but performances. You know, we haven't played well at home, especially in the league enough. Yes, Brentford was a, if you're going to say good performance, I thought Brentford were awful. But our home form has been poor for some time, and I just think every time we think like we've kind of changed the momentum, we have another Nottingham Forest result. We have another Nottingham Forest performance. So I'm fearing the worst. I really am. I'm fearing the worst. I just don't know. I just can't see us. They certainly will score. And I think we're averaging 1 goal a game. So by that statistic, it's either 2-1 Liverpool or 3-1 Liverpool. Because I can't see us scoring more than 1 goal.
But if ever there's a time to take him, it is now, surely.
Yeah, but it'll be typical of us not to, isn't it? Because
Exactly.
That's just Tottenham for you. Like, at the end of the day, we've got a whole week to train as well. This is the first time for a long time he's had a whole week to train these boys. But it's about whether, when they go across that line, whether they take on the instructions that he said, if he gives them the correct instructions, whether he's able to change the game when necessary. And I just don't know if he's got that.
I mean, do you reckon is this the game where this man gets involved?
100%. Do you know what's interesting? Do you know when we say as Spurs fans, you know, it's a good time to play Liverpool? I guess all the other clubs are saying it's a good time to play Spurs. They must be licking their lips that they're going to play us. You know, we've shown no consistency. We've shown no form. So I think they're licking their lips the other way around, Dan. If I'm honest, why wouldn't you want to play Spurs? Nice shiny stadium. Our record at home is awful. In front of the cameras.
Nice and spacey, like Liverpool like it.
Absolutely. I just I'm 50 years of age now. I've been supporting Spurs all my life, and I've never been so confused with this club in my life. Never been more confused. I just do not understand where we are, what we're supposed to be. you know, we're allowed to critique performances. We're allowed to observe the manager, but it seems like this season we can't critique.
Some
Frank.
people say, bingo.
We can't. We're not allowed to. So, Ange was the worst thing since sliced bread. Yeah, he stole Christmas. He was the Grinch. He's the worst manager Tottenham have ever had. That's all.
But he's still got us a cup.
But I was just going to say, but Frank's record suggests he's either on par with Ange or statistically worse. But
this time last season, Matt, he is a point worse off and goal scored. We are worse.
But that's what I'm saying. So if we're going to lament, criticize Ange, and he deserved some of it. If we're going to put up streams, shows, day after day about our win record, our loss record, our shots on goal record, how many losses we've had, if we're going to show that all last season, great. But do it this season as well. But all of a sudden, we've got to stop. Can't we come together? You know, why all of a sudden can we not critique the manager? He's statistically either worse than Ange or unequal as bad as Ange. So if Ange is the worst manager, we can only comment. We can only comment on what we've done, what we've seen, right? So if Ange is the worst manager statistically, according to some YouTubers.
That's better because I'm sitting there just looking at your eyes and it looks a bit fucked up. That's better.
Sorry, mate.
That's all right.
Yeah. So if Ange was the worst manager statistically, fine. But what about this season? We've got one win in 7 games in the Premier League this season. Last season, that was a disgrace. He was being called out on every show, and rightly so. But now we can't. Now we can't. We've got to give this manager time. Don't forget, in Ange's first season, he won 8 and drew 10 of his won 8 and drew 2 of his first 10 games in the Premier League. The first defeat was against Chelsea. We then went to Wolves the next week and lost away. He was being hounded from that day onwards, and he'd won 8 out of 10. He was being hounded after the Chelsea and Wolves games in his first season. So if people are saying give Frank time, why wasn't we giving Ange time when he lost his first game against Chelsea in his 11th Premier League game in his first season?
It's a fair point.
It's because people.
Sorry, go on, Mia.
Yeah, it's just because I think people, because they disliked Ange so much, they want to be so right about Frank that's why they won't allow the criticism, and they blame it on the players. But then they say the players last season they couldn't get the blame for it. Only Ange got the blame for it. Injuries, only Ange got the blame for it. This year, Frank's not getting any the blame for any of the injuries, which is ridiculous and illogical. No, but some of them
the injuries in the majority was down to Ange.
No, I don't believe that, Dan. If you're saying that, so the majority are down to Frank this season, no, man. It's just the way the football goes sometimes. Some of them.
No, me, I ain't having that one. I'll prove it, basically, yeah. If you go and check when he was at Celtic, yeah, there was a significant amount of injuries there, and they were exactly the same injuries that was at Spurs. The reason it was down to Ange, a lot of the injuries, yeah, it was down to the way he played. When you're getting players running up to the halfway line and back to the bloody goal line at least 5 to 10 times a game on a full sprint, you are going to fuck up hamstrings.
So I agree with some of that, but some of those injuries aren't, because some of them, not all of them. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. The majority of the injuries weren't down to Ange, and the majority of the injuries now aren't going to be down to Frank. So why can't we have it equal? It's illogical to say one thing for one and one for the other. Like, I don't get the logic of it.
But again, with Frank, Maddison, is that Frank's fault? I think Maddison just started a little bit too early and busted himself. Right, Kulusevski was already done and dusted. True?
Yeah, no, that's right. That's what I said. Okay. But I'm not trying to blame Frank, though.
Solanke was already busted. and basically there were players in there that were still already done.
But that was my point. Yeah, but that's my point, Stan, is that I'm not blaming Frank personally, but what happened last season was everybody blamed everything on Ange, but this season we're not allowed to blame anything on Frank. Not that I am, but people aren't allowing it to be even spoken about because they're so defensive of Frank, which is illogical. Like I say, if you're going to have one, keep the same energy, man. I keep the same energy for both managers. I'm willing to give Frank time. I'm willing to give Frank time. I'm not blaming him for all the injuries. I'm not going to blame him for everything. I say that some of it is the players and some of it is him because of the way he plays, etc.
It is a bit of an all-rounder, this one, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think people should keep the same energy for the same thing for each manager, man. I don't understand this. It's illogical, like I say.
Don't forget, we were giving examples of look what Frank did with Ben Mee. Look what Thomas Frank did with Visser. Look how he's upskilled these Brentford players. Look at the salary that Thomas Frank earns. Look at his points to his salary. Look at all the players that he has introduced and how they have improved under his management. Fine. He comes in at Tottenham. Now he can't work with these players. We're not allowed to expect any results. We're not allowed to expect any performances because these players are no good. Yet at Brentford, you could argue we're a worse level of player. We use that example because he could upskill the Brentford players, but he can't upskill the Tottenham players because the Tottenham players are awful. Did you see the inconsistency?
Yes. With the thing is, and I know there's people out on YouTube. There's about 3 out there that they're sick of hearing Ange, and a lot of people are. But, well, like it or lump it, you're going to hear about it for the rest of the season because you have to compare. Why do you have to compare? Because if you don't compare, you can't say whether you're doing better or not from last season, can't you? Can you? I mean, I don't want to do a whole show about what I'm saying is, Matt, is if you want to compare, you have to look at how you were doing the season before. And if it's with a different manager, you compare. We can only start comparing Thomas Frank to how he does in the following season, isn't it? I mean, I can't compare Thomas Frank. The only way I can compare him at the moment is game by game. And you still can't really make a fair judgment of him because really he does need to the end of the season to make a fair judgment. But I do feel that I wasn't a fan of Ange and I called him out after 6 games. Not that I wanted him out, but I said, right, okay. 6 games, I said, live on here. The only one who actually listened to me out of a majority of people and took me half serious was actually Sava. And I said, okay, so far so good, looking good, but we cannot sustain this style of football in the Premier League or any big league because we keep pushing up this high all the time. They're going to find out and they are going to absolutely destroy us. And people tried having a go at me and everything and that. Not that I butter an eyelid and give a monkeys about it, but and then lo and behold, that is what happened because it was obvious you cannot play that style 38 games through the bloody Premier League, through the La Liga, through the Bundesliga, whatever else and that, yeah?
Yeah.
And I have treated, but I didn't say Ange out until the start of the following season, basically. But I must admit, by the end of the season, I was very, very, very sceptical, yeah? As all I've done is give Thomas Frank exactly the same treatment that I gave Ange. So far, I didn't even say so good. I said so okay. I'd seen us play good or 2 in a game. I'd seen us play fucking shocking in a game. And I'd seen that overall we were doing okay. Whereas if I'm going to assess it now, I'm saying I've seen us play good and I've seen us play bad. And I wouldn't even say we're doing okay at the moment. I'd say we're doing bad now, yeah? I think the okay's come down a level as such, yeah? So all I'm going to do is assessing game by game. But I'm agreeing exactly with what you two are saying here, if I'm understanding what you're saying. I think there's a few people out there, it's like, no, you can't say it was all Ange's fault, everything else. He fucked the whole thing up. I think he was one of the worst managers I've ever seen. But now it comes over to, and I do think that, but now it comes over to Thomas Frank. I do find there is a lot of people on there who are extremely defensive of this fella. Okay, he needs time, he needs windows, he needs this, he needs that. I get that. But if this team was so shockingly shit and bad, I expect some sort of progress after over 20 games. I'm not saying I expect us up in the top 4 or even top 6, but I expect some sort of progress. And am I being harsh when I say this now? I think we actually look worse under Frank than we did under Ange. Or am I being too harsh now?
I think, look, Ange, it was the right decision to replace Ange. I've got no complaints or arguments with that. It was the right decision. The trajectory Spurs were going was in the wrong direction. But it could also equally be right to say that the replacement doesn't look the right fit as well. But it's that speech that anybody but Ange, the amount of critiquing of Ange, I even heard people saying when the question was asked, okay, if we sack Ange, who do we replace him with? And people were saying, anybody, you, your sister, your brother, anybody but Ange. So when it gets to that level of critiquing, well, you better make sure that the person coming in does a better job, because you've slaughtered Ange. So if the guy coming in is coming up with the same level of poor performances and still registering the same low level of points, surely people can say, well, hang on a minute, if you slaughtered this guy, why have we all got to be happy clappy now about Frank? Can't you have the same observations against Frank? Or we've got to be all friends now?
I mean, basically, you do have to give him a season to give him a fair assessment, and he does need a windows to get his stuff. I get that, yeah. I mean, Vindu says it perfect here. 6 managers in 5 years, though no wonder your team is imbalanced. You want instant results. No, not instant results I'm looking for. After over, how many games have we played now this season? 24? Not in the league.
Competition, probably.
24, 26, something like that. I expect some sort of progress. I'm not saying it's got to be a lot, but I expect some. And I am not seeing no progress.
Do you know what it is? I feel like that with Ange, at least you knew what he wanted us to do. Like, you had a clear idea. When I watch us on the pitch now, I don't have a bloody clue about what we actually are as a team. What is the damn plan for that game? Because I don't ever see any pattern to play, that we're not trying to keep possession. We're not playing quickly on the counter. What are we as a team? Like, what are we? And I think that's mainly the problem with what Frank's doing. And a lot of people who agree with me can see that there isn't a plan. So what is he trying to install and implement? And if we can't see that as fans, then the players must be well baffled. They must be confused. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't have a clue what you're trying to get us to do as a team. And I think that's the biggest problem, Dan. And that's why I said, now he's got a week, let's see what he's implemented as a team. See if he can get what he wants through to them. Because I think that would be interesting to see.
I mean, I think my mate Dave makes a fair point here. But regardless of the manager, we've a squad of bang average players in general. I totally agree. Who play hide and seek when things get tough and don't expect any more mid-table with any manager. Frank, Ange, Pep, Sir Alex, etc. I can go with that because I do feel it isn't just Frank that is the problem here, it's the players. But if I'm going to look at it from that aspect, and now sit here and then turn around and say that I think it's also the players that are the problem as well, then maybe I need to take a look back and say that maybe the players were still part of the problem with the previous manager. I still think the manager and this style of play was just kamikaze and everything, but maybe the players were a bit more of the problem than we might have realised. Do you get where I'm coming from?
No, 100%, Dan. But if you remember, there were examples that we gave. I certainly did on Tottenham away. I think maybe on your show, where when I mentioned the wages to turnover, and we were the lowest of any of the big 6 in this league, we were 42% of our wages to turnover, where all the other big 6 clubs were at least 60, 70%. Aston Villa were 90 something percent of their wages to turnover. So that gives you an example of why the players that we bring through the door are of a certain level. That's why our salaries are pro rata a lot lower than the other big 6 teams. So when you put that all together...
One sec. Keep going, Matt. I'll be with you in 2 minutes. Just got to answer a bloody door again.
Okay. That's why if you keep following a certain wage structure, you're going to get a certain level of player. So Dominic Solanke is a perfect example. He was our record signing at 60, if you believe the media, between 60 and 65 million. Dominic Solanke earns £90,000 a week. How can you be the record signing of a top 6 Premier League club and you only earn £90,000 a week? Gabriel Jesus at Arsenal, to put this into perspective, earns £265,000 a week at Arsenal, and he's not first choice as a centre forward.
Yeah, but what you could say is a lot of Arsenal fans complain that they've got players that are well overpaid because they shouldn't be paid that much when they're just not first choice. So you can flip it both ways. You can say a lot of people, like say Manchester United, they overpay their players a lot. So then they can say, well, actually, yeah, our wages are bigger, but actually we're overpaying for a lot of these prima donnas that we don't want to be paid that amount of money because they don't do enough. So.
Yeah. In fact, you could argue that for the wages that Man United pay, you could argue for some of the salaries. I think what's his name? The German forward for Arsenal. He's on £250,000 a week. What's the centre forward that's injured, plays up front for Arsenal? German.
Kai Havertz.
Can't remember his name.
Is it Kai Havertz?
Havertz is on £250,000 a week. So between Havertz and Jesus, that's £500,000 a week for those 2 players. Now, I take your point, Mia, that the fans could say, well, we're overspending, but at least it's showing ambition by the board who are going after certain players and paying them a certain salary. So what it does is it opens up, almost on a filter on a search engine. When you punch in the salaries you're prepared to offer, it opens up a certain level of player. At Tottenham, because our salaries are so much pro rata lower, when we punch in the search for a certain player, it doesn't allow us to look at certain players because we're only going to pay them £90,000 a week. Now, I'm not saying the whole squad needs to earn £250,000 a week, but Mia, if you're the record signing and you're the number 9, you're the guy that gets the goals for the team, and you sit down to talk about a negotiation of a contract with Tottenham that want to sign you, and they say we're going to give you £90,000 a week.
I mean, at the end of the day, if we paid more of that to Solanke, I'm sure people would say he's useless and why are we paying him that much? So like I say, it kind of works on both ways. But I get what you're saying. The level of play you can attract, sometimes it will be higher because you'll be able to pay if you pay higher wages, but you've got to pay it to the correct players. Obviously, paying it to players that aren't any good isn't no good either. Because like I say, then you get a load of prima donnas overpaid, like a lot of people do complain about in many teams. Like I watch a lot of different shows and people are like, why are we paying this amount of wages to someone who sits on our bench? Kai Havertz is a good one. A lot of Arsenal fans don't rate him, but he's on massive wages and they're like, why are we paying for him? Same as Manchester United. Like I say, they seem to have quite a bit of complaint about who they pay for and how much they pay. So yeah, it's got to be everything with a player, right? For me, it's got to be different things. So it's got to be the level of player, how good they are. Do they suit the team? As in, do they suit the personality as well of the team? Will they gel? If they come in, have they got the skills required to be able to fulfill the position that we want them to fulfill? And then you pay them the money if they fit all the criteria, a higher wage to ensure that they're happy and they want to come to you. So I think there's all the different criteria to meet before you say, let's spend this amount of money on a player and wages as well.
Normally, though, there's a correlation between if you pay better wages, normally it means you get a more consistent level of performance from your players. That's the normal consensus. Yes, Man United have got examples of, players that haven't justified their wages and salaries. But normally, if you look at Manchester City, if you look at these clubs, the moment that their takeover happened and they were able to spend more money on transfer fees and more money on wages, the level of player through the door at Man City went up tenfold. And that's pardon?
The only thing I would say is that a lot of people always go back to the Poch team, and actually you can also get players that are good that develop, because he developed a lot of our players into being good players that ended up being on high wages, getting higher and higher wages, and then going on to get more higher wages, because you can also develop them. But you've got to do it in the right way. Like I say, they've got to have all of the different aspects before they come into the team.
Yeah, I think I give credit to Levy and Poch for that period, because when he brought through players like Dele Alli, Rose and Walker, they every year or every 2 years their salaries went up. There was on bonuses and performance-related bonuses. So as the years went on, Eriksen's and your Dele Allis, who came with not massive reputations, but because their level of performance got better and better and better, by the time they left Tottenham, they were well-played Premier League players. But you can't always magic that formula. And we got lucky with Dele Alli at 5 million. We got lucky with Kyle Walker at 4 million. But
we got lucky with Eriksen.
Eriksen
was
hold on.
Purely
Can
on
we
potential.
have? But did we have much luck, or did we have a suitable coach to coach them in the correct way? I don't think you can say all of that is just luck. Fair enough. A bit of both.
Fair point.
You need the patience of the manager, and you need the patience of the fans to tolerate a couple of iffy performances and results, and back these young players, Kyle Walker, back Dele Alli. We were fortunate Dele Alli, the moment he took the field for Tottenham, he never looked out of place. We've got this challenge now with players like Archie Gray that are taking longer than we would want to reach that level. So
they're not getting no bloody game time properly, bar the odd one here or there. They should be on loan.
And that's the thing, that when we had your Dele Allis, we had a good, well-structured team that had players like Vertonghen, had players like Dembele, had players, so you had experience alongside them that could mentor them in games. At the moment, Archie Gray's looking around thinking, I should be mentored here. When Declan Rice came through at West Ham, he had Mark Noble, a seasoned Premier League footballer that could just sometimes talk him through games and get his level of consistency up. We don't have that at Spurs. Archie Gray and Bergvall, they've been thrown to the lions because the players alongside them, their level's not consistent.
It's true. It is true.
Bentancur will have one good game. He'll have one good game, then Bentancur will be invisible the next game. So we're looking at Archie Gray a lot more than we should. If he went into the Man City team, if he went into the Aston Villa team, his deficiencies wouldn't be so obvious because he's got experienced players alongside him. That's the problem.
But that's why I said you've got to do it the right way. And that's what I mean, is that you've got to have both. You've got to have the spine of the team. You've got to have experience, but then you can also have these other players that do come. If you get the correct ones, the correct players to come in and also have them alongside those ones to learn, then that is the way you should, very much like I say, how sort of like other teams do it as well. Like they bring their players in, like Foden come into City, didn't he? Like he was young and then he learned and he gradually, became part of the team. So it's not a instant thing. And then you get judged because you're instantly going, right, here you go, boy, chuck you in,
because the attitude I've got is if you're good enough to get picked in that first 11, I will judge you exactly the same way as everyone else. The only way I will cut slack to a younger player is when you can take, for example, that complete and utter tits-up mistake that cost us a goal. Yes, Vicario screwed it as well, but should never have been instigated into that position by Archie Gray getting the ball, putting it to him. So to me, that is on Archie Gray. But I can actually cut him a bit of slack with that one. Even though it's still his fault, you can actually see that was actually due down to a lack of experience, in my opinion. And when it comes to a younger player and he makes a mistake and you can clearly see its lack of experience, do you know what? I can sit back and say, do you know what, boy? All right, I get it. But if you're getting paid 85 grand a week, costing 40 million through no fault of his own, because I don't want to turn this into a fucking Archie Gray thing. I'm sick to death of his fucking name. I mean, I did want to paint my walls grey in the bedroom, and now I don't want to do it. And with that, you're going to get you deserve the same stick as everybody else, but I can cut the slack on that one. Point I want to bring up here, yeah? Go back to Frank again a second, yeah? I mean, this fella here, Mario, yeah? I'll just call you Mario, mate. It's easier. He's made a couple of comments, and I think he's bang on with what he said here, yeah? Just going on about what I said about Frank calling out the fans, in my eyes, he has failed already. I don't know about failed, but I get where you're coming from. And on top of that, he's serving shite football. I'm sorry, he just ain't the guy. Right. The point I want to go to, I personally think that Frank, and I'll put this in the politest way possible, seeing it's 11 o'clock, made the most dickhead, stupid, muggish mistake a manager can ever make in his entire life. Especially being 4 months into a club, not bloody performing, and then turning on a certain amount of the fans. Now, okay, it weren't all the fans as such, yeah? Maybe 10% he was having a go at. One thing you do not do as a manager is make that same mistake that Ange made and turn around and tell the fans and tell them about themselves. Even if the fans are in the wrong, you do not turn around when you ain't performing and your team ain't performing and go round and tell fans who are at that stadium, if you're booing, you are not real Spurs fans. What a fucking idiot. Or am I being too harsh now?
I think there's probably a way he could have been a bit more diplomatic and still get the same sort of point across. So he could have said that he was disappointed with the team and disappointed that obviously the fans didn't like that they booed Vicario individually, as obviously that's not going to give him the confidence that maybe he needs on the pitch. And so he could have called them out in a sort of, like I say, a bit more of I'm not saying you should call out fan, but he could have said it in a bit more of a diplomatic way to get his point across, but he didn't. And he went full on, you're not a Spurs fan. And I think that's never going to bode well with Spurs fans, let's be honest.
I don't think that's going well with any fans. If he goes and says that in Italy, he's going to be lucky if his mother don't get kidnapped. And that's not an exaggeration.
The thing is, I don't agree. I think, as you know, Dan, I don't agree with booing. And if you want to boo after the game, I kind of say to myself, right, okay, well, that's obviously your choice. But to boo an individual player, I hated it when we did it to Sanchez. I thought that was just horrible for him as a person. His face, oh my God, like I hated it. And I don't like seeing it. He
was crying on the sideline.
I didn't like it though, and I don't think it's correct to do so. And I don't think it's correct to boo just an individual player in Vicario either. That's just my personal thing. Like I just don't think it helps with like their confidence on a pitch. You want them to do well, and then you're booing them individually. I feel like that's targeted, and I don't agree with it. But I don't think that Frank should have come out and said the way he said it. I think that there's a way of probably putting it a little bit more diplomatically to say to the fans, listen, it doesn't help your players by doing that.
So come on, help and back us up, boys. I don't like the way you booed him, sort of thing. Like, come on, man, cut him some slack, sort of thing. Like, we can improve. Come on, boys, you're our supporters, yeah? I ain't saying he's got to come out and suck, but, the way we're playing at the moment. But you mean more like that sort of thing? More like come down a bit down to earth and like, come on, lads. Like, I know he screwed up. We accept that. He's going to stand here and say he fucked up as well. Let's just cut the fella a bit of slack and come on, let's all get together. Yeah,
that's right. I think that's probably a better way of trying to bring the fans back in and say to them, come on, man, we're together. Like, let's be together, not just be against because they're wearing your shirt. Like, you know, that's probably a better way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer that after the game, 1 second, Matt, come straight to you. After the game, I personally believe in like you boo them lot off the pitch if they ain't performed. They deserve every bit of stick they get. I know my attitude is harsh and a lot of people know it. You're in a man's game now. Act like a bloody man. Now, okay, men don't always have it easy, this and that. I get all that. Some people are very soft on the head these days. Some people are stronger on the head. Some people are thick-skinned. Some people are, I mean, even on YouTube, it shows who's thick-skinned and who's not with that. And in that aspect, it's, well, if you can't handle the crap and you just want to get clapped, but you can't handle the crap that comes with it, then you're in the wrong fucking job as far as I'm concerned. So go on, Matt, your side of it.
Yeah, look, I just think it shows how much pressure he's under, you know, because the observations of Frank prior to him taking the job was, he's great in press conferences, you know, watch this guy, he's always polite, you know, he always gives the reporters the courtesy, you know, look at him around the training ground, you know, Ange's never looks at the reporters, he's rude to the reporters, and so on and so on. What's interesting is, fast forward, and don't forget he joined in July, so this is December now, so by my maths that's 6.5 months he's been in charge, and already he's starting to show cracks. You know, he's already starting to roll out this team finished 17th last season. He's starting to show the pressure that he's under. So I think the casual attack on the fans never bodes well. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You know, I like Frank as a person. You can see he's a genuinely nice guy. You can see that. However, the fans are turning against him, especially the home fans. And once they turn, how does he switch that trajectory around and get them back on side? And the only way you can possibly see that is in by getting a consistent run of performances and results. And at the moment, I can't see that. I can't see that coming. So I just can't see how this ends well for Frank, regardless of whether you like him, whether you don't like him. How is he going to get a consistent run of performances and results on the evidence of what we've seen at the moment? I can't see it. And I just think he's buckling under the pressure. The strain of it, I think he looks more like William Defoe than Thomas Frank at the moment.
So I think we do all agree that was an epic mistake that he made, and I didn't go too harsh on the way I put it across.
Of course it was. Of course it was a mistake. Well, we've seen it with Ange. The moment you turn against the fans, it's hard for you to come back.
I don't even think Alex Ferguson would have done that. And if anyone would have had a right to go and do that after nearly 20 years, he could have possibly stood there and said, fans, you're being pricks, get your act together, sort of thing. But he would never have turned round, in my opinion, and said, you're not real Man U fans if you do this.
So I think it is, though, with Alex Ferguson, he earned the respect of the fans because of what he achieved. So he earned the respect of those fans.
Sure,
so
that's why I used him as an example. But he still would not have said to the fans, you are not real supporters.
Oh, no, he wouldn't have. He never would have, because that's just wasn't what he was like. He more took it out on players like boots to poor Bex's head. Do you know what I'm saying? When he got peed off. So he used to give the players a hairdryer treatment more than he would the fans. He would never turn and say anything to the fans. Definitely not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, you've got to get credit in the bank, you know, and you've got to show the fans some sort of some optimism, you know. And like Mia said earlier, you got to watch it and think, I can see what he's trying to do. I could see the formation. I could see a little bit. Okay, it didn't come off today, or he was up against a better team, or you know, Bruno Fernandes come on and hit 2 free kicks in the top corner. We lost the game 2-1. But I can't see, barring the Man City away, parts of the PSG game. I'm clutching at straws. Can you name 3 football matches this season where you've gone, yeah, I get it?
I think the only game we've actually looked stable in was Brentford. Just one point I want to make quickly here on the side to Kaka. If you want the clap but don't want the crap, sounds like you're referring to Sava. No, I'm not actually referring to Sava. I'm not referring to anyone in general. If I was referring to Sava, I'd say it blatantly on here. I'm referring to Sava. I mean, if you want, I'll go down the pub and say it to him, yeah? That's just the attitude I have. I'm actually referring to quite a few people who have this attitude sort of thing, yeah, which is they're entitled to. So I'm not aiming at anybody. If I was aiming at anybody in particular, I would blatantly say it, yeah. But I can get where you're coming from, why it looks like that. Yeah, he's one of the ones with those opinions, and he's entitled to it. But I'm not referring to nobody in particular. I mean, when you talk about things on here, you can say things, and it actually does refer to several people instead of just one in particular person, unless you bring out a quote that just one person said. So I'm not just referring to him, but you can say he is part of the group that agrees that you don't boo him full stop. But that is his call, and he is allowed to that. But if I was referring totally to him, I would say it blatantly who I am referring to. Just a point I wanted to put across. Sorry to interrupt you, man.
Yeah, Joe, also I would say as well, sometimes people think it's about them. Well, if you think it's about you, then obviously that's because the boot fits in it, if that's what you think. If you don't think it's about you, that's because you don't feel like that kind of way about it. So that's what I will say.
Fucking hell. Rob, long time no see, mate. Hope you're doing well. A man that kept me doing this, I wasn't going to bother doing it, and he was the one who actually got me into it, got me in with Tommy, got me in with the channel. And Tommy, if ever you're watching, how you doing, mate? The man I have missed doing the streams with the most. Rob, too generous, mate. Much appreciated. To the best Spurs content provider, wouldn't go that far, mate, but I do try. Dan always tells it as it is. Treat Mrs. HotspurHood to a cheeky night out. Well, it's coming up to Christmas, mate. That one's a bit hard. It was her birthday yesterday, and we had our lovely meal in the cafe and everything. But it's getting to that stage where birthdays, where sort of times you just get to birthday. It's just a bloody birthday because we got Christmas coming up and everything. Rob, thanks a lot, mate. It is much appreciated. You don't have to do that sort of thing, but well appreciated, mate. Thanks a lot, and I hope you're doing well for yourself as well. Go on, Mia.
And
carry
also,
on.
happy belated birthday to Beth as well.
She's probably gone back to sleep by now, hopefully, to try and catch up on an hour's sleep sort of thing. So go on with what you were saying anyway.
I can't remember what we were saying now. We're just talking about Frank and it about with fans and stuff, but
couldn't have been that important then, really, could it?
Yeah, not really. But yeah, like I think that honestly that Frank, I don't think Frank's going to last. Is
Nope.
My opinion. If you don't fix up and try and sort out what we are as a team, I just think I'm on the board with what Matt said, that home fans are so important. And if you've got home fans already with unrest, that says a lot, because a lot of the home fans are very, very tolerant.
Yes.
I've stopped going to games because I'm not going to spend my whole day literally out my house, because I have to travel for over 2 hours to get there to go and watch that, and then 2 hours back. So I'm out of my house for a very long time to go and watch something that I'm going to just be a bit meh with. So I feel like a lot of fans are like that, and as I say, they're very tolerant. When you talk to fans at the stadium, they're very, very patient and very much more tolerant. But I think if they're already getting like uneasy and saying, "Oh, I don't know about this guy," I don't think that bodes well for him at all.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's the style of play. I think we have a tradition of trying to play a certain type of football to our detriment at times. But I think this now frank, cautious, pragmatic, one shot on target at home. I just don't think the home fans, and lose the game, by the way, I don't think the home fans are going to put up with that. I just don't think they're going to put up with it. And I think as we start dropping down the league table, and once we, I've got Villa fans who are optimistic in that FA Cup game. If we were to lose the FA Cup match in the third round to Villa at home, I'm just not sure he'll see the end of the transfer window.
Really? You think it could go that far? I mean, that's the next point we can go to then, really, seeing as you mentioned that, yeah. If he, I must admit, I think one quick thing, I think someone made a very good point here, naming a couple of games and that. PSG, we looked very good, yeah? That first game against PSG. Now, for me personally, I think Thomas Frank screwed that up.
Yeah.
In that last 10 minutes, we should have had 11 men behind that ball. From love nor money. I don't want to bring his name in again, but then bringing Archie Gray into the middle of a game like that, mate, whatever turns you on at the end of the day, some things just don't work, yeah? but we had a good game. City was our best game, without a doubt. City, we played brilliant. Burnley, meh. West Ham, meh. Everton, I think we muscled it all right. Leeds, meh. Newcastle, I think we played one of the worst games of football I've seen us play for a while now. I thought we was fucking awful against Newcastle, but we got stuck into the game. We scrimped and scraped our way through that game to get that point. And for me, that was more of a point, especially being at Newcastle. Okay, they were shit as well, but to me, that was more of a point than winning with Brentford. Obviously, you want to win with Brentford, get the 3 points, but I was more impressed with the point up there because teams like Brentford, I'm sorry, no one's got the entitlement to beat nobody, yeah? This is the Premier League for a reason, yeah? And the best managers that have been around have said it is the hardest league in the world, yeah? But there are teams where I expect points against Brentford. Expect is the wrong word. I feel we should be getting points against Brentford at home, yeah? Whereas Newcastle, we've been up there and we've been absolutely slapped a few times, yeah? I was more impressed with the way we scrimped and scraped that one, basically. I mean, Ben, you there? Go on, Mia, go on.
Yeah, to be honest with you, like even the Forest game, yeah, I predicted us to get 2-2. So I wasn't going into it thinking we should be absolutely smashing them. But I expect to see shots on goal. I expect to see us trying to attack, which we haven't been doing. And I think that's the most frustrating thing, because at least if you give it a go, you've got opportunity to try and score a goal. And people can say our front line is rubbish, it's not good. But at the end of the day, if you don't give an opportunity, how do we even know? Because we're not even bloody well trying to score these goals. And I think that's the problem. Like I said 2-2, and I think that's reasonable to go into Forest thinking it's going to be a tough game away, we can get a point out of it, but we didn't even try to play football. It's graveyard football. It's not like we're not even trying. They say that kamikaze was Ange. This is graveyard, man. This is the opposite, because we're not even trying to score goals. And to say that we can't after, like, we've seen where we have had times where we can is not true, because we have had times in games where we tried, like the City game was a bit better and we did try and score goals. So I'm like, come on, man, we need to just try and score.
So with the legs Franks are on at the moment, like I say, he's on thin ice as it is at the minute. And I think he's already at that stage, which it took a little while. Tell you what, Matt, let me get that out of your face. I do think he's on that stage at the moment where he's sort of buying himself time with home fans or certain fans or whatever by what games he wins as such. Like if he goes and wins 2 games on the trot, he's just bought himself a month, if you get what I mean. You know, like how Ange was going to that point where literally everything was about to blow up, and then he get 2 results, it'll calm down, just that little bit sort of thing. I think he's already on that time, if you ask me. 100%. And I do agree with what people are saying. He needs time. I get that, yeah. But if we go out and get schooled by Liverpool at home, yeah, and then we go and get done by Palace, are we playing Palace this year or is that next year?
Yeah,
I think
Palace
this year
away. It's this year.
And then the game after is the following year, isn't it? Yeah, we've got 2 games left this year. It is 2 games left this year, I'm sure of it. And
we got Brentford. We got Brentford as well.
I think that's next year.
Is it?
Yeah, I think. Obviously, if someone can check that up and just tell me, make me wrong, all right. If we go and get absolutely schooled by Liverpool, which we know is possible, because for me this Liverpool game can go anywhere. There can be a scrappy draw out of here. I think we can squeeze a win out of this, because if ever there's a time to do Liverpool, but if Liverpool actually turn it on and actually get their shit together, they can quite easily wipe that floor with us. Now, if we get 2 defeats there, like say a 2-1, a 3-1, and a 1-0, whatever, and that, I think he'll survive. But if we go and get absolutely schooled in these next 2 games, do you think he's going to make it to January?
I don't think so. I think for me, sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. I think that for me, if it's about whether we actually try. I think if we go up against Liverpool and we try and actually score goals, I think if we have shots where we're missing loads of shots, etc., and we lose, I think that's that's showing fight. That's showing a plan. He's trying to show some attacking prowess. So I actually think that if we show that, I think that's going to please. I think that's going to show something and make fans think, right, okay, let's get on board with it because he's actually got a plan. If we do that and we still lose, I think no, because if you go to both games but try and lose, I think that will go far with fans. I think if we actually attack, if we just keep missing chances and misses chances, then that's not Frank. That's on the players because they set them up to actually attack. So I do think it's definitely to do with how we play. I think if we actually try to win a game.
I mean, a lot of us wanted an adaptable manager, an adaptable coach. Me being one of them, yeah. But there's adaptable and there's bloody adaptable, yeah. I mean, I think everyone's got their way of playing and that, and I do think you need to adapt to game by game, but that doesn't mean change the whole formation. The way I've always put it is, if you know they got a solid left winger, you change your style just a little bit and double up on him and then cover what else you got to, and that's what I call adapting in a game, yeah. And then some games I feel, yeah, you use a different formation if you've got the capability of doing it. I still personally think we're using the wrong formation. People turn around and said, well, we tried 3, look what happened to Arsenal. The bollocks did we, yeah? We put 11 behind the ball from the minute they bloody kicked it, yeah? That is not playing 3 at the back. Not a chance in hell, yeah? I still think we're using the wrong formation for the players we've got. But Frank, he has chopped and changed and this and that, and I get that he's trying to work it out. And then people telling me he doesn't get much times with the players and everything and that. Yeah, well, welcome to being a football manager, mate. And in that aspect, with another thing as well, I mean, I'll ask Ben the question, like, when he comes back to life about the sack side of it. I mean, Mia, who was it who said? Do you two think that if we get smashed in these next 2 games, he's going to make it to January?
I already answered, so I'll let Matt know.
Matt?
I think it without stating the obvious, it depends on the manner of the performances and the results. So if it's a 2-1 at home to Liverpool, and we've had a contentious VAR that gives them the winner, or we've hit the inside of the post and whatever else, and then we go to Palace and draw, or we lose a 1-0, or maybe. But I think if they are damp squid performances, meek, kind of weak, no attacking intent, the players look clueless, and equally as important, if there's a few spats on the pitch, if there's a few players that, blank Frank, or, there shows to be a bit of players revolting against Frank, and that transcends to the fans pick up on it. If he drags off Spence, or he, I don't know, whatever, and one of the players show dissent to him, I think that might trickle back to the board that he doesn't have the players' faith. And I go back to, if the 2 damp squid performances and then we go out in the FA Cup to Villa at home, it wouldn't shock me. Let's put it this way. If we don't win one of those games, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, or Villa in the Cup, I would not be surprised if I put on Sky Sports News and he's been sacked.
Yeah, I can go with that. Ben, how you doing, mate?
I am very good, guys. How are you lot? I'm sorry about that. I had a phone call from my son's school. I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, apologies. Come on. Bye.
When you get a phone call from the school for your son, it's not usually a good one, is it?
Oh, mate.
So what? Jill, whenever I pick up the call to the school, the first thing I ask is everything all right? Because regularly my youngest will hit his head and need stitches. So I'm always like, is everything okay? That's the first thing I ask. So I know what he's like, man.
Well, do you know what?
My one with my daughter was usually, what's she done?
Yeah, same as me. No, it's funny. So I got a phone call from the school. They said, we've got CCT of this incident. And I thought, do you know what? It'd be funny to see if he tries to lie his way out of it first. And he did. And I was like, that's great. There's CCTV of what happened, mate. And he goes, oh,
fuck.
We'll talk about it when we get home, boy.
Oh, dear.
Oh, you're in trouble. Yeah. Yeah, madness. How are you guys anyway? You all
in
good?
That aspect, Ben, you're going to rip his heart out, and what I mean by that is take his iPhone off him.
That's not what I got when I was younger. I can tell you that. Nothing was taken from me.
You know it. You walked with a limp where you had a belt mark on your ass. That's what happened to me.
My mother was like Clint Eastwood with a fucking slipper. Do you know what I mean?
My mum was a wooden spoon. She was very Greek, like that's a very Greek thing. They use wooden spoons, the good old wooden spoon.
Hold on, what a big one.
Yeah, like a proper.
My missus, her dad used to do that, but that's a Greek thing.
Yeah, it's a very because Greek, like it's everyone knows. Anyone who's Cypriot always says about what it's used to get. It'd be you hear the wooden spoon rattling, man. They go and grab the wooden spoon to go and whack you with it. That or a slipper. That was the thing.
I think I'd have preferred the slipper. You know, that one would have probably hurt less.
My brother didn't appreciate when it got broken once on him.
I mean, I don't deny it. I got the belt a few.
Oh hell yeah! It's called learning respect, boy.
Too fucking right. I mean, and you know what? I will sit here and say I deserved every single one of them, but one. The dog knocked over a cup once and smashed it on the floor. I got the blame for it. I started going into one. It wasn't me. And where I'd already been in serious trouble and that, I think my mother was just pissed off with me. Why do you have to lie about it? Just tell the truth. And I got a belt across the back of the leg again. Bitch.
Yeah.
That one weren't my fault. But the rest of them, I will take full credit. I deserved everything I got. I was a horrible little bastard.
Do you remember that?
Go on, sorry.
Do you remember the old, if you cried and then they go, I'll give you something to cry about? Yeah, I said that to my kids as well. Yeah, I'll give you something to cry about, boy, if you're going to bloody cry over nothing. What are you doing?
But do you know what that made, though? Do you know what that caused? Every one of us in this panel right here has respect, okay? And that's where it came from. That's why all the shit these days are just a nightmare.
Do you know what? I don't know, because I will say, and I'm not trying to be like a kind of like wokey, but I don't actually do that with my children, but they do respect me because they do have some fear, because they know if I need to, I will F them up. That's the difference. I didn't, but they know that I will. If I go psycho on them, and don't forget they're both bigger than me now, because I'm only 4'11", they're 16 and 17, so they're big boys, but they will walk out my door without telling me where they're going. No way. I will not have it. I will drag them back, and they know it. So that's the difference.
I'm going to pull a Jose Mourinho here. I cannot speak.
If I speak, I'll be in big trouble. The
last thing we go on this bit here, is basically, as far as I'm concerned, you can relate kids to football players. People are going to say, how do you do that? They got too much fucking power. Yeah. Same as players have more power than the manager, basically. Yeah. Except who goes on the pitch. But if players want to, they can fuck that manager over and get him out. Yeah. These days, kids have got too much fucking power, as far as I'm concerned. If I would have turned round and called my mother a bitch, a this, a that, and some of the other things I've heard, I would have had my front tooth punched out my face, and I would have fully fucking deserved it. The one I used to get when I used to get suspended, which was a hell of a lot of time before I ended up in another type of school, but that's a different lifestyle thing. What they used to do was put me in my room, take the TV out, take the computer out, take everything out, shut the fucking door, and leave a book in there with me. And it weren't no Marvel book either. I remember when my mother put the fucking Bible in there with me and said, read that, and if you can't give me quotes from this, and this, you ain't going nowhere.
That's pretty good.
Just sitting there like that, just rocking in the room. I ain't reading it. And then you realise, like, fuck it, mate, I've got to read this thing, because otherwise I'm never getting out.
You know what? I got an embarrassing one real quick. I got caught.
Go on.
I grew up without a dad, but I did have a stepdad for about 2 years. I got caught smoking by him once. He was a military man. Do you know what he did? Oh, I was in trouble. Oh,
let me guess. He made you smoke the 20.
Oh no, mate. He went and bought 60 fags and made me smoke. I think I got through about maybe 40 before I cried and threw up and passed out. It wasn't good. I didn't enjoy the experience.
I mean, these days, even if you look at your kid wrong, you can get fucking social services kick your doors down, and this is why society is fucked. But right,
Oh,
let's go back to the football.
Can I quickly just say one thing?
Go on, Mia.
I told my children, and I said, go on then, go ahead, call social services, then I can go on bloody holiday. Yeah, cool, man. See what happens when you go to social services, innit? See what happens.
Call their bluff. Yeah, go on then. Go fuck off and live somewhere you don't know up in fucking North Manchester then. Now shut up and get to your bedroom. Too fucking right, mate. I mean, I was always a firm believer of a clip round the ear, never done no one no harm. You don't have to beat the grandmother out of them like a fella in a pub, but just smack round the back of the head or on the arse. Don't do nobody no harm. Get some fucking respect. But right, absolutely. Ben, back to the football. I mean, it's more amusing talking about where we got a beating because do you know what? Do you know what the funny thing is here? Yeah, it's actually more. It's more actually.
More fun talking about that than it is fucking.
It's more fun talking about when we used to get a beating for being a little bastard or a little bitch than it is talking about Spurs. It hurts less. It's better.
And that's where we are now, people, Spurs fans. Yeah,
I have better memories of getting the belt off my mother or getting locked in the room with a fucking Bible than watching Spurs.
Oh, hell, what has happened to this club?
Oh dear. You know what? That's one of them situations where you just sort of sit back and think about it and just give it the old.
Yeah.
Anyway, life goes on. Right, Ben, sacked. If we screw this up with Liverpool in a big way and they end up pulling like absolutely shafting us, like no Vaseline, destroying us and that, yeah, and then we go and get done in a bit of a way by Palace, do you think Frank is going to make it till January? If not, why? Or if so, why? What is your opinion on the whole thing? Or what has he got to do? Everything else.
Right, look, listen. Unfortunately, Liverpool finding a small vein of form. They're starting to get their shit together.
You know what? So Ben, sorry, mate. Totally sorry to interrupt you. Vindaloo, spot on, mate. You need Mia in midfield. She'll all suit things out. Mia grew up around the same area near me. Where was it? Woolwich, wasn't
it? Like Bexley way, innit? Like
that's exactly where I grew up. And trust me, it ain't the most pleasant place at times. You got to be able to hold your shit. And Mia can hold her shit. Do you know what? Get Ben. Do you know what? Get Mia on the pitch instead of fucking Archie Gray. She'll probably kick the grandmother right out of him anyway. So what does it matter? Anyway, Ben, back to the point. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, no, you're good. With Liverpool, it's a bit unfortunate because they're finding a small bit of form. At least they're getting back to sort themselves out a bit, which again is typical because their next game is us. So fantastic. Look, listen, I think what overrides it all for me is Thomas has been here 4 months. And, look, listen, again, I feel like you've got to take a lot into consideration here. He's dealing with the fallout from Levy and the garbage he's brought into the club. He's dealing with 3 out of the 4 front 4, are brand spanking new players to the club. And it takes time to mould. I mean, look, if you look at a club like Chelsea, and guys, I know you know this, every few years, Chelsea get a big influx of players and they're fucking terrible for a season. It's usually the way of it, right? We are currently also in that situation. Look, listen, you've got a few decent performers in Spurs at the moment, but as a whole, our biggest problem is there's no, what's the word I'm looking for here? There's no rhythm to the team. We haven't gelled yet. But I think to discuss the fact that he may get fired, which I think is criminally sad, really, after 4 months, is a bit of a joke. For me, the only problem with Thomas Frank, and again, this is not my point, this is Stell's point, Thomas doesn't have credit in the bank. So he's not won the Champions League. He hasn't won the Premier League. And I think when you've got...
He hasn't won anything.
He hasn't won anything, right? So and I think when you've got a manager at your club that's done one of those 2 things or maybe one other, cups elsewhere, I think you can have a bit more faith and give them a bit more time because you think, okay, this man knows what it takes to get things done. So I think automatically gives you a bit more faith. Whereas with Frank, you don't have that. However, I believe, and I'm pretty sure you all believe as well, overall, Frank is a good manager. He's something we've been crying out for. He's an adaptable manager. I certainly at the moment don't believe, I will not subscribe to the notion that Thomas Frank wants to play this type of football. If you sat down and asked me who I genuinely think this lies on, I think it's the players and their mentality. I said to you previously about I said to you previously about the mentality of these players and whether or not Frank has lost the dressing room. I don't think Frank really has gained the dressing room from day dot. I feel like he's a type of manager that maybe instead of demanding that respect straight away, earns it throughout his time being at a club. Maybe again, it's just a different take, it's a different perspective. But for me, I don't think you can fire this man after 4 months. I think it would be shambolic. And for all intensive purposes, I'll just say this: from everything we're hearing from the club, he's not going to get fired. He's going to get time. And I kind of hope he does. But again, make no mistake, I'm with everyone else. When I watch this dross, and it is fucking dross, by the way, it's nasty football. I heard you when I came back on a minute ago speak a few games that we've played all right in, played well in, but we're talking a handful out of what, 20 plus games?
Easily, I think it's about 26 games we've played this season if you count the cups and everything. Give or take a game.
Which ideally you want to see more, but if you just take a deep breath and actually think about where we are as a club right now, he's just started. What were we expecting? Last season we lost 22 fucking games in the league. Shambolic, not acceptable. Daniel Levy was at the helm. Things are going to take time. And right now, I can't help but sit and think we all need to just weather the storm a little bit. So I hope he doesn't get fired. If I'm honest with you, I hope he gets a bit more time. Please God, let us do something against Liverpool. We all know we're not going to, but you never know. But yeah, I hope he doesn't get fired, mate. I really don't. I think people need to relax a bit.
Mate, we need more than just God. We need all of the gods all together combined, like Captain Planet, man. No one all combined. We need one of those sort of things, man.
Jesus.
I mean, I've put a poll on the side here. Will Frank make it till January if we lose next 2 in a bad way? Got 16 votes. Come on, people, give us some votes so we can get a rough idea of what people are thinking.
On the general consensus
to understand exactly that. It's just at the moment, it just is not looking good, is it? I mean, I am struggling to see how. Do you know what? It's another point I want to go to. Yeah, a couple of things I spoke to about, like a couple of people, and the rumor has it that after the game with Arsenal, I think it was after the game with Arsenal, people were complaining about the pragmatic football. And this is where I do feel sorry for Thomas Frank, because he was pretty much screwed if he did, screwed if he didn't. There was plenty of people who still wanted Ange in. There was plenty of people who did not want him full stop. Forget the Ange bit, but just didn't want him. They wanted someone else. Plenty of people who did not want pragmatic football because it doesn't suit this imaginary Spurs way, in my opinion. Because we are in 2025, not 1965 or 1985 or 2000 even. We are in 2025. I personally feel some people need to adapt to modern day, yeah? Which isn't always the easiest thing to say. They do say the older you get, the harder it is to learn. But still, you do need to adapt. And football has changed. And this Spursy flair way and everything and all that, well, I don't think it is even playable, because there isn't the players out there to do that sort of way, apart from a few clubs like, say, PSG, Barcelona, things like that. They can still do that shit, yeah? But in the Premier League, you don't really see... I mean, Arsenal don't play that way. City don't play that way. Liverpool don't play that way. No one really plays with this out-and-out flair way anymore. Attack, doing this, doing that, having the man up the wing. Come on, people, it is 2025. Maybe some people... clocks have stopped. Go get a new fucking battery. I don't know. But for me, if he went and changed the way he was playing purely because of the stick he was getting off the fans, then if I'm going to be honest, that's a manager I don't want. Now, one thing I respected about Ange was the fact, but it also pissed me off to the extreme as well, yeah, was the fact that it was... He'd hear what he hear off the fans, say what he said, and do you know what? He'd say, fuck you to a lot of you. This is how I play football, yeah? But I still expect a good manager to then be able to put, like what we spoke about earlier, put his hands up, like me and Dietrich said, like put your hands up and say, do you know what? maybe I'm getting this bit wrong and I need to adapt this and change this. Yeah, that is what a good manager does. But if he purely changed it because he was getting pressure off the fans, then to me, that is a mentally weak manager. And do you really want that at the club? Or am I being a bit harsh here?
No, I agree, and I do think Ange did change because the players told him so. Because that's what happened. What Van der Ven said, they went to him and said, "Mate, we can't."
No, not with Ange, with Frank. I
know. I'm with Frank. Yeah, no, that's right. And I'm just saying with Ange, he sort of did, but with Frank, I feel like he needs to play how he wants to play, but I don't think he knows how he wants to play, Dan. I think that's the problem. I don't think he even knows how he wants to play with this team. So when it comes to Arsenal, we didn't even try to win the game. And I think that was a big sticking point for a lot of people.
11 men behind the bloody ball from the minute.
So exactly. So I don't think that's how he wants to play because he keeps chopping and changing how he wants to play. So I don't think even he knows, if I'm honest. And I think that's the main issue.
Do you know what? Can I just bring this chat back up here ever so quick? If that's okay. Sorry, Dan. This here, right? Look, to be honest, I absolutely agree with Mia. I don't just watch the games. I watch the interviews after. I watch everything. I watch the Spurs TV stuff. I watch, all the Sky Sports nonsense. Look,
so it's a depressing life then.
Little bit, yeah, a little bit. Look, the point I want to get across is, again, I agree with Mia. I don't think he wants to play this way either. And the fact of the matter is this, right? After these games, he came out and said that is not what we wanted. The Arsenal game, for instance, he said, I was really confident going into that game. I do not believe he just wants to sit back and not press forward. I think it is. I cannot stress this enough. And again, it's just my opinion, I cannot stress this enough. I believe this is on the players. And, the problem is I don't think they get spoken about enough because they can't be fired. So I feel like people maybe don't spend enough time discussing how bad they have been. Because the thing is, you can say what you want about the players we've got at the club, but from a personal standpoint, I think they can do a shite sight more than what they are currently doing. And that Arsenal and Chelsea game, I don't think that was the manager. I think that was the players. I don't know whether it's a confidence thing. I don't know whether they're still trying to get used to the way he changes up the tactics. I don't know. But I am not going to sit here and say that is on Frank simply because of the things he comes out with at the press conference after. He says that's not how I wanted to play.
I think the players and the manager are to blame with this one. I mean, just to answer a quick question here of KKK. What if Ange only changed it because he got pressure off the players? Big respect or no respect? Now, for me, I can actually show a bit of respect for that because that's a manager listening to his players. Players know what they're doing. They're playing football. At the end of the day, people can call us armchair supporters, this and that. The one that does make me laugh is when someone turns around and says, well, you're only an armchair supporter. You haven't got a fucking clue. That's where you turn around and say, well, you can wind your fucking neck in as well, mate, because you're only on the armchair as well. So if I'm irrelevant, you're irrelevant. Shut up. Go forth and multiply. And with that one, it's... at the end of the day, they are the players. They know what they're capable of. And from what I heard of that interview, I haven't seen it yet. It basically got said that they did come up to Ange and say, like, look, if we get this goal, we're going to have to sit back. And he actually listened. That is what I want a manager to have the capability of doing, basically, yeah? So if that's how it happens, then credit is where credit is due, as far as I'm concerned. But if the manager changes his style of play because he's getting stick off the side of the fans, that's too mentally weak for me, in my opinion. I mean, what do you two think of that? Either one.
I'm assuming you mean...
Yeah, for me, it's all to do with results. If Tottenham are getting results, the rest is academic. So what the players think, what the players feel, it's academic if the results are in our favour. Because the manager can say, we're winning. Listen to me, stick with me, follow my training methods. We are getting 3 points come the weekend. Also, the players might then translate what the manager's asking them to do, what the training techniques are. I can see that's bearing fruit because we're winning football matches on the weekend. if the instructions the manager is giving the players and they're trying to implement them on the pitch and they're getting beat, after a period of time, negative thoughts gets in the players' minds. And it only takes 1%. If you don't press just 1% like you used to, teams can play through you. If you're not in sync as a team, just one of you doesn't play the offside, one drops back a little bit and plays two players onside, the ball ends in the back of your net. So sometimes it's just these minor, tiny details which can affect the result. And once you start to get a culmination of these results, the rut sets in. And then you're in a runaway train where people are saying it now about Wolves. How the hell are Wolves? What's happened to Wolves? They can't buy a win because once doubt sets in, you stop following the manager's instructions with the same passion that you did when you're winning. And that's what's happened with Thomas Frank. Some of the players, there's a doubt, there's a question, you can see it. Some of the and that split second of hesitation, boom, they're out. The opponent's out. So somehow, and this is where I'm saying, I think some in the chat are thinking that I don't know. Frank has got nothing to do with that. I'm just using my eyes. The players look confused on the pitch. We cannot string two passes together. That's not a skill problem. They're professional footballers. This is not a skill challenge. This is, for me, some of them have got a mental situation where they are struggling under pressure to implement what the manager wants to do. And all of a sudden, the football now looks like a table tennis ball. Just like when you're playing on form and at the top of your game, the ball looks like a beach ball. You look at the guy that scored the third goal against us for Forest. You rewind 6 weeks ago, those fans wanted him out. The guy that's hit that ball with the outside of his right foot and it's hit the post and gone in. Unbelievable strike for their third goal for Forest. It's all about confidence. And the Tottenham players, too many of them, are playing without confidence. And unfortunately, the buck stops with the manager. Unfairly sometimes, but the manager has to knit that team. He has to knit that team together and get a tune out of that team. And that's where some of these YouTubers have come unstuck, because that was the hymn sheet that they were singing Thomas Frank was going to do to Tottenham. He was all of a sudden going to turn water into wine, and he was going to turn Ben Mee into Van der Ven. It hasn't happened. Does it mean that I want him sacked? I'm saying we've won one match in 7 in a Premier League. That's relegation.
Is it only 1 in 7? Is it only 1 in 7?
That's really right.
We've won one Premier League match in 7.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's nasty.
How can you condone that? How can you condone that? Really? How can you condone that? Now again, I'm not Frank out, not yet. If he goes and fucking puts Archie Gray on against Paulinho when he can play Bentancur and that, yeah, I think that is going to be my point where I'm on my last bit of that fence, and there's all he's going to have to do is say hello, and I'm going to fall off it and say I don't want him. Yeah, call that more of a joke, but it's also quite serious as well. I am on the middle here, but you do have to give a season basically with it as well. But if we keep playing the way we're playing at the moment, basically, I think we can easily end up 12th or 14th at the end of the season, yeah? 12th and 14th, 12th and 17th, a lot of people say is irrelevant either way because you get jack shit for it and it's just another number, yeah? But obviously 12th looks better than 17th. But for me, if he ends up finishing 12th or 14th, sorry to compare people, I think he's had a worse season than Ange. Because at least Ange can turn around and say he got a bloody cup in 17th place.
Don't forget, Dan, you're not allowed to compare. You're not allowed to compare Frank with Ange. Don't forget, you're not allowed.
I couldn't give a toss, mate. I'll compare what the fuck I want. And with that aspect, I would actually think he's had a worse season overall because he's got nothing to show at the end of it. I mean, that season, like last season, was diabolical in every which way. And if those three teams wouldn't have been that shit, I think we would have got relegated if one of them was a bit better as such, because we was awful. But at 17th and 14th or 17th and 12th, what difference does it make, bar maybe 3, 6, 9, bar maybe 10, 12 million pounds, yeah? Which is still 10, 12 million pounds, yeah? And it does look better. But what would you rather do in that aspect, yeah? Would you rather finish, let's say 13th, in the middle of 12 and 14, yeah? I think we can finish 12 or 14th if we keep playing like this, yeah? If we finish 13th, and that's that, which it will be, or would you rather we finish 17th and get a cup?
17th in a cup, man. It's all about cups. Nobody cares at the end of the day where you finish. When you look in your trophy cabinet, nobody cares as long as you get the whole thing. It's about trophies. It ain't about finishing second or third. It's about trophies, because what do they count up as the biggest teams? Is trophies. They don't count how many times you were second. Because if Arsenal don't win again this season, everybody's laughing at them, saying, "Guess what? You bottled it again, LA." So basically, they've not won nothing.
Don't worry, they will bottle it.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. But the fact is they don't. If you don't win nothing, the whole point of sport is to win something, man. I would rather finish 10th 5 years in a row and get 3 trophies out of it, because it's all about trophies. I want another parade like the one that we had, man. I don't care. I want trophies.
You see, I have a slightly different opinion on this one, and I'll come to you two next on that, yeah? It depends what. I mean, to me, if I have a choice of 12th or 17th in the trophy, I will go 17th in the trophy, yeah? But on the long run side of it, to me, the League Cup is irrelevant. Okay, it'd be a nice little cup to have on the side, whatever, but it is pretty irrelevant, whether we like it or not. These days, to me, the FA Cup, yes, I'd love to win it, but it don't get you much. That would get us in the Europa, wouldn't it, the FA Cup, yeah? So, okay, if we finish 14th and get the FA Cup and get in the Europa, then fine, I'm happy with that. But the problem we have with football these days, in my opinion, is football isn't a sport anymore as far as I'm concerned. It's a business. It is more of a business than it is a sport. Yeah, same as most things these days, because whether we like it or not, it ain't love what makes the world go round. It's money. Money, money, money. The biggest killer ever, the biggest everything ever. It is money what makes the world go round, and that is all they give a shit about. Yeah. If you actually want to improve your squad over the next 4 or 5 years and want to start getting somewhere, you need that thing called money. And you need to be able to be allowed to spend it. You can have all the money in the world like Newcastle and that, yeah, but they can't spend shit because their income is terrible. You know, I mean, you need money. So where can you take your club further if you've got good owners who want to do it? By the way, yeah, that goes without saying, I would presume. Go 4 years on the trot, winning an FA Cup and a League Cup, FA Cup and a League Cup, and finishing 12th or 14th, or finishing in the top 4 and getting in the Champions League for 4 years straight. What way can actually take you further as a club? What can do more for you as a club? What can actually help you progress your club? What more players are likely to come to you because you finished 12th and won an FA Cup, or 12th and won a League Cup, or you just finished in the top 4 and got in the Champions League? The sad thing in reality, in my opinion, is that Champions League and the top 4 is more important than the FA Cup and the League Cup for not the sentimental reasons, but for the fact of the money and for the fact of the players it can attract. A top-class player is not going to come to you because you won the FA Cup 4 years on the trot, but finished 12th and 14th. He will come to you because you got in the Champions League 2 seasons on the trot.
That's not an opinion, it's a fact, mate, isn't it, really?
The fact is, right, it's dead. That's fine, and I get what you're saying, but we were in Champions League and we still didn't get those players. So actually, I don't know about that one. But
that's not what I'm saying, Mia. Hang on one second, Mia. What I'm saying is if we had the owners that want to take it that far, You've got to have the owners that want to do it.
Fair.
Just making
That's
it clear.
But as fans, we shouldn't care about any of that. As fans, you should want to win trophies. Like for me, I understand all that financial BS, but guess what? I'm a fan, so I want more parades. I want trophies. I don't care about any of that. So I know what you're saying, that you will get maybe progression with money and etc. But if you go into those competitions being winners, saying, listen, we've won trophies. A lot of players, why do you think Harry Kane left? Because he wanted to go and win trophies, man. It's about the trophies. Players want to win trophies. They enjoy being winners. So I feel like that players, when they first went to City, they started winning those cups. They started winning those cups a lot of the times. And players went to them because they knew they were building something. If you do that and you say, we're going to build something, we're going to keep winning cups, and then we are going to try and do the bigger like cups, then I feel like that if a player buys into that, that's actually better because you know you're going to win stuff, man, that you're there to win stuff.
I totally agree with you there, Mia, in the aspects, but I think more what you're talking about, on my opinion, is what it should be. In reality, if you've got an owner who's willing to spend and wants to take this club up a level, what is going to attract better players and what is going to be able to take you further? 4 years straight in the top four, or 4 years straight winning the FA Cup, finishing 12th and 14th?
But if you get into the if you win the FA Cup and then you go into Europe and then you win a Europa League Cup because you got into there because you won the FA Cup, then surely that shows that you're trying to take things seriously because you're going into cups and taking them.
I mean, look, the easy answer is financially is league position and getting into the Champions League. You get untold amounts of money for doing both. It's that simple. However, I'll say this: I don't think it's insignificant to win the FA Cup, and I don't think
I don't think it is.
The League Cup,
but I'm talking about
progress as a team. It may not be financially.
Fair point.
But I do think it shows a bit of progress. Yeah. I mean, it's the sad commentary here, really and truly, is we're a long way off doing any of these things. We're a long, long way off. Yeah, look, for me, it's got to be Champions League and league position because that's where all the money is. And at the end of the day, Dan, you are right. The thing is, you need owners that are prepared to spend that money to reinvest. The thing is, let's be honest here. What is football? You've got to speculate to accumulate. That's how you do it. That's it. That's it. And you have to maintain that stance. And if you don't, you're just going to fail. I mean, look at all these other big clubs around us. You know, they've all gone out, spent fucking billions, and they've brought in some clangers as well. Look at fucking.
You can't get it all right, can you?
You can't. But this is the thing: you have to maintain that stance because eventually you will get it right. And if you're spending big money on players, you are more likely to get what you're paying for. I mean, you know, there's plenty of examples of that not happening, but there's plenty of examples, more examples of that working out. I mean, you know, Chelsea do it, City have done it, Arsenal have done it. You have to maintain that stance. The problem with Tottenham is every now and again we fork out a big amount of money and, you know, we go and buy one or two decent players, but then it sort of slows down again. You have to maintain, one, the standard of player you're bringing in, and two, the standard of money you are spending. I mean, this transfer window just gone, and we needed a big transfer window, despite the fact that I think we brought in good quality players, despite that fact. Well, I think we spent like 130 million, which is actually less than what we usually spend.
Yeah, because 2 were buying, 2 were loans, wasn't it? But still 4 players. Right, just a quick thing, Ben. Just want to say thanks to the super chat. Ledley, you have to these days, and I have trouble reading when things all locked up together. Much appreciated for the super chat, mate. Thanks a lot. Frank bought in Paulinho. It might get him fired. It was a massive error. I don't think it was. He should have brought in players who can pass, team lacks ideas and creativity. Well, wasn't that what Simmons was bought for? I don't think it was. I mean, last season we was all screaming that it was a DM we was missing. I think Paulinho is perfectly fine for what we need, but we needed more on top of it. Now, go on, Ben. Go with what you're saying, mate. Carry on what you're saying.
Sorry, just on that, I'm going to be honest with you, bud. What was his name? Paul, whatever it was. Obviously, super chat, appreciate it. But I got to be honest. I agree with the fact that we do need, you know, because the biggest problem in our team that I can see so far is an inability to pass the ball. players like Kudus, fantastic player. But what does he do? He holds onto the ball 25 minutes more than he fucking should. It drives
He
me
does
crazy.
hold on to it a bit long. I noticed that. He does a bit of a Romero. I think
great player, but if you're not going to progress the play, if you don't pass that ball at the right time.
I think what he does is what Romero does at times. He slows that game right down because he's looking for that perfect pass when he could actually just knock it to the one next to him who can get it forward from there.
See, I don't think he even does that, Dan. I think sometimes he's got his head down and he head downs and runs and he doesn't look up to see what's around him to pass. And then there's a pass he missed because someone's making a run near him and he doesn't pass it because he's got his head down, man. Watch him when he runs. He's got his head down running. He doesn't look up, man, to look up what's around him.
It's great to have those players that have that self-belief and confidence because, goddamn, you need it. You really do, especially at the top level. But, to have an inability to do a simple thing like pass the ball off to progress the play, if you can't do that, and it's such a simple fix as well, such a simple fix. If you can't do things like that, then there's a problem there. I'm sorry. But, like I said, going back to that super chat, as far as I'm concerned, we were crying. No, we weren't crying. We were screaming for a midfield destroyer, and we got that in Paulinho. For me, Paulinho is one of the first names on the team sheet. I think he's a fantastic, fantastic player. He gets in and amongst it. He's the sort of player with the fight and determination that you want. I mean, he came on, what was that last game we played? I can't even remember. I'm such an old man. The last game we played, he came on late in the game, and he tried to drive us up the pitch. Thank you. He went fucking ballistic at the team around him because he's trying to drive up the pitch and everyone's behind him. This is a central defensive midfielder, by the way, not a striker. And I personally think that you need that sort of player, that sort of grit, that sort of determination in your team. So the fact that you could say something like he might get him fired, I don't know, my man. I don't know. We must watch very different games, but that's just, personal opinion.
I mean, how do you look on that whole situation, Matt?
For me, I think Paulinho is a very good signing. As strange as it sounds, the way we're set up at the moment doesn't get the best out of Paulinho because he's got too many midfielders around him. For him to be effective, I think he needs to sit in the middle of that midfield and win tackles. I don't think he needs Bentancur or Archie Gray or Sarr around him because they get in each other's way. Let him be the midfield enforcer. And then he needs runners, midfielders around him that are going to pull a position midfielder back towards their own box and allow Paulinho to stay central and protect the back four. What we've got at the moment, we've got a little bit of Bentancur doing, we've got a little bit of Archie Gray doing it, and it's kind of too many cooks spoils the broth. Just leave Paulinho in there to seek and destroy. I want a number 8 or the other central midfield player to come back and help, but go and affect the game. Go and affect the forward thinking players. We've got too many players in there and they're just making a mess in the middle of the park. So for me, I think we need to go. Paulinho for me is the more consistent to Bentancur. I would use Bentancur to rotate with Paulinho 70-75 minutes, or if we've got 2 matches in 3 days, but I wouldn't play 2 defensively minded midfield players with Paulinho. It doesn't work. So we're desperately lacking somebody that's forward thinking in midfield, that's going to get on the ball and get attacks moving quickly. We're too slow in possession, we're too negative in possession, and the opposition see that. They see that and they just set traps, win the ball back off us, which isn't hard because we give the ball away every 2 passes. So we can never build momentum. Then you get to the number 9, which is for Richarlison, who can't keep hold of the ball. When I played football, I played as a number 9. The midfielders and the centre-halves would go ballistic if balls were knocked into me and it kept breaking down. They'd go ballistic. Get hold of the effing ball. We can't start any attacks if we knock the ball up to you and it drops. We knock another ball up to you, it breaks down. Centre halves coming through, winning the ball, every opportunity. So Tottenham can't build any sustained pressure in the final third because Richarlison they can't trust to keep hold of the ball.
Every time he touches his foot, he comes 6 foot off his foot.
Well, his second touch is a tackle. His second touch is a tackle. Solanke, that everybody criticises, is the only number 9 that looks like he can play with his back to goal. What does that do? It buys Tottenham minutes in the game because he'll get hold of the ball, and with he's got his back to goal, if he can't get a free kick, he gets us up the pitch. Every time you give the ball to Richarlison, centre halves come through, wins it, they're on the attack.
Got ping ball.
So in defence to some of the Tottenham players, Richarlison is making our attacking play very, very difficult because he cannot keep the fucking ball. He can't keep it.
I'll make you
right. Who keeps playing him? Who keeps playing him in that position? Thomas Frank. So, like, see, when we played Forest, we should have played Mawani up top. That was my team to play Mawani up top because I know what Richarlison was like. I thought Mawani's better than Richarlison, man. He's better with his feet and he's better holding up the ball. So I would have played him. Why is Thomas Frank? Yeah, why is Thomas Frank playing him? That's a Thomas Frank issue. Why is he playing Richarlison at top?
With that one, Mia, I think you will see the better if you get Mawani on the left and Richarlison in the front, because Richarlison can only do the front and he can only only do it. Either way,
I disagree, Dan.
And Mawani on the left.
Richarlison can do the bench really well. I don't know if you've seen him there.
Yeah, but who else do you fucking put there? So what do we do? Stick Mane out front, and then who do we got? Odegaard. Yes, good options, basically. I'll go to that one in a sec. I mean, just to make you right, mate, you're 100% right on what you're saying. I played football for plenty of years. I used to play in goal and was actually very good in goal. Had my trials with Kent and that. The only reason I lost out was because of my height. Because back then, to be a goalkeeper, you had to be a unit. You was a goal line goalkeeper. It weren't about sweeper and all that. And then they stuck me in, right back, and they got me out there in a matter of 3 games, I think it was, because I was, and then they put me as a DM. I ain't the biggest fella out there, but I don't care who you are, mate. I'll go get stuck into it, and I used to love getting stuck into a game. My job was get that ball, come love nor money, and if you have to boot it up there or get it to the closest person to the side or the front of you, let them do their job, sit back, and you wait for the next bastard to come over. That was how it was when I used to play as a DM. And it's like you say,
it's basic stuff. It's basic stuff. Richarlison cannot keep hold of the ball. So if you're gonna play Richarlison, play him wide left. He's industrious. He's hardworking. He huffs and he puffs. Play him out wide left. You've got to have somebody that looks like he wants to accept the ball with his back to goal. Richarlison knows he struggles, so a lot of the time he almost hides. He's not proper centre forwards demand the ball. They demand it. They demand it of the midfielders and they demand it of the centre half. Hit me early and we'll play from there. Richarlison's not interested in that because he knows he cannot do it. Richarlison is hoping for the goal he got against Brentford, where Xavi runs down the right, he crosses against the goal, he runs in, taps it in, he runs off. That's his 5th, 6th goal of the season. What else are you offering Tottenham? Barring those wonder strikes against Burnley, barring those wonder strikes, barring the deflected header against Man United, what else in your job description are you giving Tottenham? You're not holding the ball up. You're not a threat. You're not buying us free kicks. What are you giving us?
Hey, mate, would you agree that it's actually detrimental to have Richarlison even play for us at all?
At times, there isn't much option, I'd say.
Yeah, needs must bench. For me, I can't believe nobody's mentioned the medical team. Why has nobody mentioned that Solanke apparently had a knock in July? He had a knock in July. Nothing
has happened to him? What has happened to him?
It was nothing serious, according to Thomas Frank in the press conference. Nothing serious in July. We're now in December, and he's nowhere near the team. But that doesn't get mentioned. Don't forget, last season, Ange got criticised for bringing back giving mixed messages for Romero, Van der Ven, and whatever else. Nobody's commenting on how long it's taken the medical team to make a decision on whether to operate on Solanke. They operated Solanke in September.
I thought they had, hadn't they? I thought they have operated on
Solanke. I don't know.
They operated in September.
Did they?
What was wrong with him?
Yeah. He had an ankle operation in September. Mid-September, He had the ankle operation. And then Frank said he should be back after the international break.
See, what I don't understand is you're actually seeing videos left, right, and centre of Maddison doing pre-work training. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah. The thing is, with Maddison, Ben, from what I've read and heard, he could actually come back earlier, but he don't want to. Yeah, because he made that mistake last time of coming back a bit early and busted himself again. And for me, Maddison is a pretty broken player anyway when it comes to physicality. I mean, he's got kneecaps like glass.
Yeah,
he's very fragile, but excellent player. Don't get me wrong, but very, very physically weak.
My point
the point he's made basically is he wants to take it longer to come back to make sure he is physically ready. Because if he gets another injury like that, it is game over.
But the point is, Maddison got about as bad as an injury as you can get for a professional footballer. Yeah, we're seeing things on him left, right, and centre. So what the fuck is actually going on with Solanke then? It's a very, very strange situation. You don't see videos of him. You don't hear much of him. You know, and like I said, you've got Maddison there with the injury he got to his knee, and you're hearing plenty of stuff about him. You know, 3 or 4 months after it happened. I don't get what is going on with Solanke. And I'll say this much: when Frank first came to Spurs, he spoke about Solanke a lot and was saying he's my sort of striker. I reckon I can get him scoring more goals and doing even more for the team. I do feel a striker like Solanke would do us the world of good. I mean, fuck me, at least he can do the basics of holding up a ball for the most part and getting it out of his feet to somebody else.
What's that about Solanke? I haven't heard nothing of that.
I shall look this up.
I mean, I mean, what drug test are you talking about? Did he get caught going out the back room having a packet or something, or blowing some balloons?
The thing is that I read that, I heard that, but there's no actual proof of it. So, but I do think it's a bit dodgy with Solanke. All of a sudden, he's not come back when he was supposed to. I do think that's a bit weird, but there's no actual real proper talk about that he did do. That was the case. I'm going to say I looked it up myself.
Yeah, I concur. Apparently, according to this, there's no official information or credible news reports stating the fact that he's failed a drug test.
So it's just rumours, basically.
It's just rumours. I find that very strange as a model professional. I find that very strange.
So sooner or later, you will find out. The truth does come out. Go on, Matt. Sorry.
What I'm saying is, right, when you play professional football, you have a team of physios, right? You have a team of physios. Mm-hmm. And when a player gets injured, they go through the diagnosis, right? And they make a decision whether this is treatable or whether it needs, more serious consultation and therefore potentially an operation. So he went through all of pre-season, right? This is a full-time team, by the way, full-time football club. He went all the way through pre-season, and somebody must have said, I think we're okay. I think we can get him through this. We get all the way through August. He comes off the bench, if you remember, against Man City, when we beat Man City. He comes on with about 15, 20 minutes to go. Looked all right, actually. Had a good cross shot. The keeper made a good save. Looked all right. I'm thinking, great. Not long and he's back in the starting 11. Then all of a sudden, it looks a bit more serious than we thought. We then get to September, and then, under second opinion, he needs an operation. We're now in December, the middle of December, and he's nowhere near the match day squad. From an injury he picked up in July. How the fuck is a top 6 football club with a management team allowed that to happen. Don't forget, we got rid of the last medical team last season.
Mm. We did get a new medical team, didn't we? But it seems that everyone who ever comes to Spurs who's never had a bloody injury, they come to Spurs and end up half crippled, for God's sake, don't they? Every bloody time. And we're meant to have had a whole new injury team in there, a whole new medication system in there and everything.
This is what I'm saying. So how do you allow this injury to fester for nearly 3 months before somebody goes, I know, let's get him operated?
Apparently, he had the operation late September, May.
Yes, September. He had the operation in September. But what I'm saying is, Benj, he went July. They come back for pre-season training in July. Thomas Frank said he had a knock in July. So that's all of August. We went on the tour of Asia. All of August. No sign of an operation. We get to September, back into September, then somebody says, yeah, I think we need to operate on this guy. Now, how does that happen? He's our number one striker at the football club. How does that happen?
Yeah, I get your point. That's very, very strange thinking about it. Very, very strange. Because he would have had all manner of observations done. So there's no way they wouldn't know what was wrong.
Bench, there are full-time medical physios, X-rays, ultrasound, all the equipment known to man. On this period, we're in December.
It is very, very skeptical, our medical team, and it has been for a very long time. And it is something by now you think that we would have sorted out, considering we got a whole new bunch in there. But it's still not sorted itself out, has it? They still don't seem to have got their shit together.
In their credit, I do think this medical team is better than the last, because they were the last medical team was rushing players back left, right, and centre, and it was causing us nothing but problems. I think this medical team seemed to be very, very, very careful. And to Frank's credit, I don't think he's rushed anyone back that's had a knock. He's been very careful with them. This is something that we berated Ange for last season. But the Solanke one for me, bit of an enigma. No fucking idea. And the fact that they're not giving us any information, I find very strange. But I think everyone has to admit, in the system that we play, it does look like Solanke would do quite well. I mean, again, like I said earlier, at least he can do the basics, right? I mean, you feed the ball into him, for the most part, he traps it pretty well, 9 times out of 10. Something Richarlison is incapable of. But very, very strange one with Solanke. Absolutely no idea what's going on there. Very odd.
Yeah. It's one that I do struggle with. Right, people, what I've just done is put a link on there for Mia. Mia, do you want to talk about your channel quickly before I end this? Because it was only meant to be an 1.5-hour show and I made the mistake of fucking saying it, and I'm here till 3.5 hours.
You should never say it, because you never do an 1.5 hour, man. It's never like that. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, you can go over to Tottenham's Lone Wolf. I do previews of games and just news, shorts, but I don't do lives, but I do pre-recorded videos. So yeah, if you don't mind, I've just made it to my 100, so my next aim would be 150. I've taken my time with it. I'm in no rush, but it'll be nice if people wanted to listen to more of what I have to say. They can go over and listen to me. So I would really appreciate it if people would go over there and give me a like. She does talk complete sense when it comes to football. One of the very few women, along with Ellie, that I know that actually do. People might say that sounds like a very sexist, bigotry comment, but I don't know many women that do know much about football. And these two know their shit. So
Mia, thanks for coming on. Much appreciated. Matt, great to see you. And like I've said to you, if ever you want to come on, just send me the bloody message and then I will know. If you send it on there, I probably won't see it until about half hour later because you're so far behind. You always make a solid point, mate. You're down to earth. That's what I like on here. And you've also got a sense of humour in the background. Ben, I'm sure we will catch you on here very, very soon again. Unfortunately
for you people. Sorry, guys. Oh, God, this fucking guy waffles.
Yeah, fuck off. And with that one, I'm going to have to... Oh, no. Two things quickly here. So just checking on that vote quickly. Will Frank make it till January? 72 votes. 51% say no if he loses the next two in a bad way. 49% say yes.
Wow.
That's a very split opinion in that aspect, isn't it? That is a very, very split opinion. Right. I'm still trying to work out on how to bloody raid on another show at the moment because they've absolutely pissballed about with this. I'm going to have to ask one of the others where they've changed it and everything. I've been looking for it for about 10 minutes. Still can't fucking find it. But right, just want to say a big thanks to the super chats. Russell, much appreciated, mate. Sean, top fella, thanks a lot for that. Rob, you're a diamond as always, mate. Good to see you on here, and I hope you're doing well for yourself. Much appreciated. And also, Ledley, top man, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for coming on. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Can I even say, come on, you bloody Spurs, when I know we got fucking Liverpool? In that aspect, it's not the easiest way to bloody put it, is it? But either way, where there's a will, there's a way. There can be some hope, and I will catch up with everybody soon. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your Friday night piss up, whatever you're going to do. Get on it.
Take it down. Turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down.